Roar roar in the different space, 10 tails roaring frantically is roaring towards the false starry sky, as if calling for something. However, when Sasuke appeared in the next second, 10 tails started to stop. Moving its huge body, it kept approaching towards Sasuke. As soon as Sasuke appeared, he immediately felt the power of 10 tails. Powerful chakra waves coming from 10 tails. This chakra fluctuation seems to be much stronger than 9 tails, the strongest tailed beast. At the same time, 10 tails seems to have grown a lot in size. It is already the same size as a group of tailed beasts. Seeing 10 tails approaching, Sasuke wondered if he felt scared. Instead, I felt the intimacy of 10 tails. The guy seemed very close to himself. It seems that he likes himself very much. Sasuke even faintly felt a special feeling. As long as he wanted to, he could mobilize the power emperor of 10 tails at any time. 10 tails came to Sasuke and lowered his head, gently rubbing against Sasuke. It's like a kitten trying to please its owner. Sasuke raised his hand and gently touched 10 tails' head. This moment appears as a feeling of exit. Sasuke felt the attraction of 10 tails, and at this moment 10 tails seemed to have completed the evolution. It's ready. Ready for what? Of course, it is ready to become the tree of God. But if 10 tails wants to become a sacred tree, there is still one more step. That is to devour a member of the Otsutsuki clan. This question is certainly not troublesome for Sasuke, to be honest, as long as Sasuke is willing. Then in the next second, Kimimaro or Shigego can come and let them be swallowed by the dry tail. Although they all integrated the blood of Otsutsuki into their human bodies, human genes dominate. But it is undeniable that they also have the power of Otsutsuki. As long as you have the power of Otsutsuki, you can be swallowed by 10 tails. Help 10 tails become a god tree. Feeling the power of 10 tails at this moment, its chakra is not what Sasuke cares about. After all, Sasuke, who has already lit the fire of chakra, does not need the help of 10 tails chakra at all. But what Sasuke cares about is that this different space seems to be able to directly absorb the power of 10 tails and transmit it to himself through the air. At the same time, Sasuke felt an opportunity from 10 tails. An opportunity for evolution. It seems that as long as 10 tails incarnates as a divine tree, and waits for the moment when the fruit of the divine tree matures, Sasuke can evolve his pupil technique again by eating the fruit of the sacred tree. Reach a whole new level. Otsutsuki's instinct. Now Sasuke seems to understand why Kagaya chose to betray Yishi and put Yishi into the mouth of 10 tails. This instinct is really hard to resist. As Sasuke, who also has the blood of Otsutsuki, the blood in his body is boiling. It seems to be telling Sasuke that he must find a way to turn 10 tails into a sacred tree. Only in this way can he evolve from the current life level to another life level. For 10 tails to become a sacred tree, a Otsutsuki is required. But at the same time, if you want the fruit of the sacred tree to ripen, you need a lot of chakra. Perhaps the amount of this chakra needs all the living beings on a whole planet to contribute. If it is like this, doesn't that mean that Sasuke is going to destroy the entire ninja world with his own hands? Although Sasuke doesn't care about the life and death of common people, there are still people Sasuke cares about in the world of Hokage. If you just leave them, everyone else will die, which is unacceptable compared to them. It is definitely not possible to destroy the ninja world. But it doesn't mean there is no other way. Sasuke looked at 10 tails in front of him. If let 10 tails devour the chakra of the tailed beast, I don't know if it can directly become a sacred tree. Maybe. Sasuke frowned. If this method is feasible, then the tail beast needs to be captured first. Is it to catch the tailed beast again? Sasuke smiled. Just in this era. Once the tailed beasts from the past appeared, it was just right to catch them all. Send it to the mouth of your own 10 tails. Let 10 tails devour the chakra of these tailed beasts. But before that, we have to find a way to get a person with the blood of Otsutsuki to be devoured by 10 tails, so that 10 tails can become the god tree. Only then can we continue to absorb chakra. Candidate. Who should I choose? Sasuke looked like that, feeling a little uncomfortable making a decision. It should be said that there are quite a few people who have the blood of Otsutsuki. Let alone Kimimaro and Shigego, Naruto also has such qualifications. And now there are Indra and Ashura who barely qualify. If the chaos continues, then maybe Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Yuya and his younger brother Otsutsuki Hamura will also come to this world. Then there will be more candidates. Even as the chaos continues, the best candidate should be Otsutsuki Kagaya. Otsutsuki Kagaya, who has swallowed the fruit of the sacred tree, is used as the candidate to help his 10 tails transform the sacred tree, and is undoubtedly the best candidate. Even Otsutsuki Kagaya, who has not yet swallowed the fruit of the sacred tree. The power of his bloodline is also far higher than others. Also a pretty good choice, etc. Sasuke suddenly thought of someone, a dead Otsutsuki. So can he. That's Otsutsuki Bushi. Otsutsuki Gashiki's body should still be in Konoha. And the reason why it is said that Pu Shi can also be used. It was because Pu Shi called Dao Shi a senior, and he directly ignored Jin Shi, which meant that the status of Pu style is equal to Dao style. It's just that Dao Shi is a senior, and Pu Shi is a newcomer. That is, the guardian. The guardian is higher than the guardian, this is the rule of Otsutsuki. It's just that Pu Shi doesn't have his own guardian yet. Just like the original Obito, he entered the Akatsuki organization as a student of novice. Although it's just a corpse, it should be perfectly fine. Otsutsuki turned around through the wedge, so the body itself will not have a soul soon. Since a body without a soul can be used, then there shouldn't be any problems with the same Pu-style corpse. Thinking of this, Sasuke left the different space in an instant. Returned to Konoha directly using Flying Thunder God. Even the problem of Indra and Ashura, Sasuke has no time to care about it now. Now Sasuke just wants to find Bushi's body. Then take it to a different space and let 10 tails devour it. After all, it can be regarded as waste utilization. And when Sasuke returned to Konoha, he directly used his hand power to go to the laboratory where Bushi's corpse was stored. Since it is break time, no one is in the lab. Sasuke opened the device containing Bushi's body, but there was nothing inside. Where is Pu Shi's body? Pu Shi's body was gone. If I remember correctly, I was indeed brought back to Konoha at that time. And Naruto said that he would hand it over to Konoha's science department for research, hoping to find out some secrets of the Otsutsuki family from the bodies of the Otsutsuki family. But why is Pu Shi's body gone now? Sasuke's complexion is a bit uncomfortable. Bushi's body, now on its way to somewhere. And the person who transported the corpse was also Konoha's ninja. The border of the land of fire, where it meets the land of rain. The person who was in charge of transporting the corpse looked back in the direction of Konoha. Shouldn't have discovered it yet. The other party smiled. It's true to think about it, since the past few days, the whole leaf has been very chaotic. This also gave him the opportunity to steal Pu Shi's body. But I don't know what the use of the corpse of the Otsutsuki family is. Why did the organization ask him to bring the corpse out? Come to the border. A hidden place not far ahead. The other party stopped the car and glanced at the sign next to it. It should be the right place. I'm here, come out. He said something that could be flat and no one showed up. Did the organization forget about it? Impossible. Obviously it was the news from the organization that brought him to this place. I'm sure it's Otsutsuki Bushi's corpse, then take it away. Suddenly there was a sound in the car, and he quickly opened the curtains. Look at the people inside. Are you members of the inner circle? Look at each other's faces marked with Roman numerals. This is a special mark that only members of the inner circle have. The two turned their heads to look at the guy in front of them. Smile. In the next second, a bloody mouth appeared on the guy's neck. Immediately afterwards, the flames devoured his body, making this Konoha ninja completely disappear without a trace. Let's go. The two took Pu Shi's body and disappeared directly. And on the other side inside Rain Shinobi Village, Nagato, who was waiting for the news of the tailed beast to come back, took control of Tendo Pain, on the tongue of some giant statue. Quietly let the wind and rain blow, nothing happened. But in the next second, Tendo Pain suddenly opened his eyes. There was a man floating in front of me out of thin air. The leader of the Akatsuki organization, Uzumaki Nagato. I think we can talk. The other party revealed his identity in one word. It stands to reason that no one should know him in this future world. After all, none of the 5 major countries has publicized the issue of the Shao organization. Therefore, it is not a puzzling thing that Shao is unknown. But now, someone actually knew his identity. And also directly said his name, and found here. Obviously, the other party is quite familiar with the history of the ninja world and the secrets of the ninja world. Who are you? The other party smiled, and slowly fell down and stood in front of Tien Dao Pei. My name is Sishen, the leader of the Shell organization. Cell? Nagato has never heard of this name, and even people in this era don't seem to have any information about this name in their mouths. In other words, this organization should also be a secret organization. It is not known what the purpose is. Shell? Hee. Stupid name, what are you doing to me? Tendo Pain stood up slowly. At this time, Sishen turned his head and glanced in the direction of Nagato's body. I came to you for cooperation. The Shao organization should already understand the situation of this matter. So now, as the leader, what do you want to do in this world? Being watched by the other party's eyes, although Nagato didn't think the other party could see him directly. But there is always a feeling as if the main body is directly seen through. This guy, who is he, not only knows himself, but also knows that Tiando Pain is not himself. I don't need to answer this question for you. It doesn't matter, I can talk about my purpose first. Sishen turned around, and his body floated up again. The purpose of the Shell organization is to become a god. We don't have much interest in this world or anything else. We hope to use scientific methods to analyze the power of ninjas. Through scientific means, gain the power to become a god. The other party looked back at Tiando Pain. The members of the Akatsuki organization are all outstanding ninjas, so I want to cooperate with you. Use the power of the Shell organization to help you use scientific methods to improve your strength, and at the same time, our organization can also use your ninja power to become stronger. No matter what you want to do in this era, you can't do it without a strong force. Become a god. The opponent's goal is such a whimsical thing. However, Nagato also knows a little bit about the power of science. In this era, the development of technology and the combination of technology and ninjutsu have also brought about great changes in the way ninjas fight. More powerful scientific ninja tools are constantly being developed. Ninjas have also become more dependent on scientific ninjas. As a result, their own combat effectiveness is weakened. Originally, Nagato sneered at this, as the power of a ninja is not his own. Are you also called a ninja? Boring cooperation, I don't need it. Is it really not necessary? As he spoke, Sishen waved. A person suddenly appeared behind him. Her name is Deluda, and she is one of our inner circle members. You can try. How strong is the power of scientific ninja tools in this era? Hearing this, Nagato frowned. Science Shinobi Island. Do you want to compare that useless thing with real ninjutsu? Ridiculous. HMPH. Kid, you seem to look down on scientific ninja tools. Are you still holding on to your set? It's not popular in this era. The world now is dominated by scientific ninja tools. Tiando Pain's eyes became cold. Seeing such gazes, Devo smiled. That's right. That's the kind of gaze that makes it interesting. Master Sishen, I can do it now. Shion floated backwards. Let's do it. Boom. In an instant, Deluda, whose legs turned into jets, rushed directly to Tiando Pain. Seeing that the opponent's legs suddenly turned into some kind of mechanical device, Nagato's expression turned slightly cold. Is this guy something like a modified person? Beep. Stepping down heavily with one foot, the statue was instantly destroyed, and Tiando Pain avoided it. Looking at Deruda, who moves so sensitively, Nagato is also surprised in his heart. This is the power of scientific ninja tools. This level of strength has fully reached the level of Apex Taijutsu Ninja. To become a Taijutsu Ninja in Apex, I am afraid that it will take decades of hard work, but the woman in front of me, who looks young, possesses this kind of power. Where are you looking? Your movements are so slow. Saying that, Deruda rushed to Heaven Pain again. At this moment, Tiando Pain didn't make any movements, and the next second the stone wall beside him suddenly burst. A huge summoning beast rushed out. Deruda reacted immediately, and turned his hands to the summoning beast that was charging towards him, and directly pressed it with one hand. Despicable. Using a summoning beast. However, the next second the flames struck. Deruda's eyes narrowed slightly. Open your right eye and start absorbing straight away. Seeing the ability to absorb appear, Nagato was completely stunned. Absorb chakra. This is an ability that only Rinnegan possesses, but this woman in front of her also has. Along with the human world, the Hell Road, the Hungry Keto, the Shura Road, and the Animal Road, pain came out one after another. Deluda's face also became a little dignified. Call for help so soon. See Shion. This is not his helper. These are puppets controlled by him alone. One person can control 6 bodies at the same time, but what kind of powerful mental power is needed to do it? Thinking of this, even Deruda has to admire Nagato. If Amato is allowed to transform this guy, he will definitely be able to equip this guy with a more powerful scientific ninja. After all, such a strong mental power is rare. Although your scientific ninja equipment is indeed very good, in the final analysis, it still relies on the power of external objects, that's all. You don't understand ninja fighting at all. Talking about Dao Pain in the world and Shura Dao Pain do it. The two pens move like the wind. It swept over in an instant, and rushed in front of Deluda in an instant. One punch and one kick, even though Deruda had reacted. But there was still no way to completely block it. A huge black bird descended from the sky above the summoning beast. The very long beak was like a huge sickle, cutting towards Daruda below. On the other side, the hungry Kido and the beast Dao Pain who came up from the other side, cooperated with Shira Dao and Human Dao, almost trapped Daruda to death. A series of explosions and roars sounded. After 10 seconds of fighting, pieces of white paper appeared in the sky, like white snow. Accompanied by the arrival of the paper, Conan's figure is also condensed in countless pieces of paper. Who are you? How dare you come here? Since you are here, don't even think about leaving. Sishen glanced at Conan lightly, although Conan's tricks seemed a bit flamboyant. But for him, it's just fancy but not useful. Wait. Conan, don't get excited. Heavenly Dao Pain below spoke, and at the same time grabbed Daruda who was struggling. The universal pull was launched, directly grabbing Dalu in hand. A gangster pierced directly into Daluda's body. Daruda twisted his body, trying to break free from the shackles of Teondo Pain. However, there was no way. The black stick pierced into the opponent's body, although the chakra in the opponent's body was suppressed. When the other party does not seem to have any fear. Aren't you afraid of death? Let go of me, bastard, let me go, wait. I'll crush you hard. Let you know, click. Nagato directly twisted the opponent's neck and threw Daruda aside. Looking up at Sishen above. Although your scientific ninja equipment is very strong, it is only at the level of Jonin. Hearing this, Sishion smiled, really? Nagato is trying to control what Tendo Pain continues to say. Suddenly he turned his head and looked at Daruda who stood up slowly, pulled out the black stick, and twisted his neck at the same time, recovering his breath again. The other party looked at him viciously. Damn it, you dare to break Miss Ben's neck, you damn it. Enough. Suddenly Sishen stopped Daruda. Daruda was a little depressed. Could this guy just let it go? Maybe you think her strength is not very good, but that's because she doesn't have any powerful skills. But it's not that simple to kill her. Looking at Sishen, Nagato was indeed shocked for a moment. Even when the neck was twisted, it was still able to. For example like this. Beep. Suddenly, as Sishen said, he actually made a move by himself, directly smashing most of Daruda's body into pieces in an instant. At this moment, how did Sishen make a move, and how did he suddenly come to Daruda from above? How to launch the attack? Even Nagato didn't see clearly. Nagato's eyes flashed fear. However, what is even more surprising is that Daruda's body seemed to emerge out of thin air. Gather together quickly. Boss, what are you doing? Why are you hitting me? Sishion. It's just a demonstration. Even if it's a demonstration, there's no need to blast most of my body away. That's bad. As he said that, Daruda pouted his mouth a little unhappy. The demonstration of the two really surprised Nagato and Conan. A person whose body has been smashed to pieces, unexpectedly recovered in the blink of an eye. This kind of ability is really unexpected. Cooperate. Nagato looked into Sishen's eyes. This is what the other party wants to achieve. Collaborate with your own organization. If Nagato felt that it was meaningless before, now Nagato feels that such a cooperation is completely different. Thinking of this, Nagato seemed to have finally considered it. I'm very interested in your previous proposal. Hearing this, a smile appeared on Sishen's face. Very good. Happy cooperation. Don't worry, we will do our best to help you with what you want, and provide you with all the help you need in this era. After speaking, Sishen walked towards Teondo Pain, the two leaders of the organization. Face to face, stretched out his hand. Gently hold together. This moment will be different again. Chaotic times will only get more terrifying. From the era of ninjas, the best ninja organization, Akatsuki Organization. In the new era, the organization that holds cutting-edge scientific ninja tools, the Shell Organization. The cooperation between the two organizations means the perfect combination of ninjutsu and science. And at this very moment, just outside Konoha village, find Naruto of Indra and Ashura, the ninjas with Konoha. I thought the two would fight, but Indra and Ashura were just sitting by the river. It seems that they are discussing and exchanging something, and the two don't look like they are at war. Instead, it seems to be communicating something. In fact, Indra didn't really care too much about the ownership of ninja. It's just that I was bewitched by Black Zetsu at that time, which resulted in jealousy. Coming to this era, Black Zetsu saw Sasuke. Such an understatement. He won, but he didn't do anything, he just wanted to continue to become stronger. In a moment Indra found his true self. Isn't he just like Sasuke? Does he really care about anything else? Ninja and the like have never been taken seriously by Indra. The only thing he cares about is nothing more than his father's evaluation. The fact that his father handed over ninja to Ashura does not mean that Ashura is better than himself, but that Ashura is more suitable for taking care of ninja. My father still had a good opinion of himself. Knowing this, Indra has no reason to continue fighting with Ashura. And now Indra's conversation with Ashura is actually Indra asking Ashura what he is in the eyes of his father. However, Ashura's answer is yes. Father's evaluation of you has never changed. You are a genius, his most proud son. The act of creating a seal to benefit the ninja sect has already made Indra not only appreciated by the Sage of Six Paths, but even many ninjas of the ninja sect are in awe of Indra. It is enough to have this answer. Indra smiled. Seeing that there was nothing wrong with the two of them, Naruto was about to ask about it. By this time, however, Indra had stood up. You don't have to worry, before you think of a way to send us back to our time. We will all be in your place and there will be no unusual behavior. So, you don't have to worry. Indra's words made Naruto touch his head in embarrassment. Perhaps because of the good mood, Indra didn't say anything now. If it was changed before, I am afraid that Indra will add another sentence. If he really wants to do something, I'm afraid Naruto will need to watch him 24 hours a day. Don't worry. Uzumaki Naruto, big brother, and I have solved the conflict, thanks to you. Speaking of Ashura thought of Sasuke, to be precise, it should be thanks to that guy. Just by looking at it, you can tell that he is also a very proud person. If anyone could influence someone as proud as Indra, it must be someone like Indra. And also made a higher achievement than his own big brother Indra. Thinking about it, only that kid exuding an astonishing aura has such an ability. Thinking of this, Ashura felt that it was necessary to take a closer look at the kid named Uchiha Sasuke. What kind of charm does it have, that even the elder brother who is so proud of him has been affected? While Ashura was thinking, suddenly, Sasuke appeared directly in front of Naruto. Seeing Sasuke's sudden appearance, Naruto immediately understood that it might not be a good thing. Sasuke. What's wrong? Hearing this, Sasuke glanced at Naruto. The body of Otsutsuki Bushi is gone. Hearing this, Naruto was stunned for a moment. Bushi's body has been stored in the laboratory, how could it suddenly not? Saying that, Naruto's face became a little gloomy. If Bushi's body really disappeared, then it means that there are traitors in Konoha village, and even Naruto doesn't know why these people betrayed Konoha. Steal Bushi's body, which is the body of the Otsutsuki clan. It goes without saying how high the value is. Thinking of this, Naruto felt ashamed to face Sasuke. I have served as Hokage for such a long period of time, but I actually made such a low-level mistake. An extremely precious corpse was lost by him. Although this is because of the traitor, but when I think about it, there are also my own reasons. Naruto looked at Sasuke with deep apology. Go back to Konoha. You are Hokage, you handle it yourself. As he spoke, Sasuke glanced at Indra and Ashura. The two stood side by side, looking more like brothers. The group returned to Konoha village in a mighty manner. And Sasuke returned home under Itachi's urging. Now Sasuke is a headache. Originally, the 10 tails could be matured directly with Bushi and turned into a sacred tree. However, there is no sacrifice from the Otsutsuki family now, so we have to find a way to find a person from the Otsutsuki family to sacrifice to 10 tails. Both Indra and Ashura obviously couldn't do it. It's not because they are not qualified, but because they are unnecessary. The reason is very simple. Indra has also known himself now. Sasuke is not cold-blooded enough to tell the people around him to do it. As for Ashura, the younger brother, although Sasuke hasn't touched it yet, he won't move it either. Then after these two people are excluded, there will be fewer qualified people next. That leaves Sage of Six Paths, Otsutsuki Yuya, and Otsutsuki Hamura, who don't know when they will appear in this era. Or maybe it won't show up. Of course everything is uncertain. If Otsutsuki Kagaya can also come to this new age because of chaos, then it is a good choice. First of all, Kagaya is a real Otsutsuki family, with pure Otsutsuki blood, and secondly, killing Kagaya is completely free of any psychological burden for Sasuke. Of course there is another option, which is the Otsutsuki style of this era. This guy is pretty good, but I don't know where he is now. The previous one was severely injured by himself, and I don't know if he has persisted until the current new era. If Yishi is still there, then Yishi is also a good choice. While Sasuke was planning, another big thing happened in the ninja world. At the same time, an amazing news came back from all over the ninja world. That's the tail beast. Appeared. The first one to appear should be one-tail Shukaku, which appeared directly in Konoha. But the place where the remaining 8-tailed beasts appeared was not as unlucky as one tail. They are distributed all over the ninja world, and they are quite far from the 5 major ninja villages. And it has been more than a day since they appeared. These tail beasts have destroyed several towns and villages. It caught the attention of the ninjas and began to investigate. Only then did they discover the traces of the 8-tailed beasts. The first time Konoha got the news, Naruto felt a little headache. The distribution area is too wide, even no matter where it is in the country of fire. In the 5 major countries today, tailed beasts have appeared. 9 tails appeared in Mist Shinobi. 8 tails appeared in Sand Shinobi. 7 tails appeared in Konoha. 6 tails appeared in Cloud Shinobi. 5 tails and 3 tails appear in Rock Shinobi. The remaining 4 tails and Arway appeared in the Land of Rain, and 4 tails appeared in the Land of Iron. 8-tailed beasts appeared one after another, and the current situation became very bad. In such a situation, Naruto wants to catch all the tailed beasts and get Sasuke's side thing and Orochimaru figure out what the problem is. And after finding a way to repair it, send back these tailed beasts, White Fang and others that appeared. Don't know how long it will take. This is where the real headaches come in. And when Naruto had a headache, Shikamaru said a more troublesome question. Naruto, the reappearance of the tailed beast, there are all major ninja villages, and along with the appearance of shadows from past generations in each village. They are very dissatisfied with the current United Ninja Village system. Perhaps they will go directly to snatch the tailed beast. Saying that, Shikamaru let out a long sigh, if I'm thinking right. So now these other 4 villages are planning how to snatch more tail beasts. This situation is just like that of first Hokage-sama's split-tailed beast. And this time it's not a split-tail beast, but a snatched tail beast. Naruto froze for a moment. According to Shikamaru's line of thought, it is very likely to happen. The United Ninja Village seems to be really dying in name only. Facing the tailed beast in front of them, it is impossible for them not to catch them, and at the same time, they will try their best to snatch other tailed beasts. To strengthen the power of your own village. And once the face is really torn apart in this process, I am afraid that the United Ninja Village will completely collapse. If I managed to make the ninja world peaceful, it would be completely broken. If it's really what Shikamaru said, then the entire ninja world may be. Sai said with some concern. However, the truth is exactly as Shikamaru said. At this moment, the major ninja villages have already started planning. Cloud Shinobi Village returns from the past to the present 3rd Raikage and looks at the current state of the village. Before the 5th Raikage Darui had rushed back to Cloud Shinobi Village, he directly took over the power of Raikage. No way to be the father of 4th Raikage. At the same time, the presence of 3rd Raikage, who has a higher prestige, is simply a blessing for the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village. As a Cloud Shinobi Village that has continued the policy of iron and blood, the more powerful 3rd Raikage naturally became the object of awe for the Cloud Shinobi. As soon as 3rd Raikage took over Raikage's power, he directly announced that Cloud Shinobi was changed from the Cloud Shinobi Department to the original Cloud Shinobi Village. It's just a name change, but it almost announces its separation from the United Ninja Village. But 3rd Raikage is not a brainless person, he just changed his name, and he didn't directly say that he would cancel the status of the United Ninja Village. So Cloud Shinobi doesn't seem to have changed much, but in fact, starting from the lower level, has no feeling for the so-called United Ninja Village. Now they just want to rebuild Cloud Shinobi Village into a powerful ninja village under the leadership of 3rd Raikage. And when 6 tails appeared in the Land of Thunder, 3rd Raikage immediately took Cloud Shinobi's ninjas to the place where 6 tails haunted to capture 6 stars. Darui wanted to stop it, but it had no effect at all. Instead, he was accused of being weak by 3rd Raikage. Cloud Shinobi started to move, and naturally other villages would not stop either. Rock Shinobi and Sand Shinobi also started working directly. Rock Shinobi is going to capture 5 tails and 3 tails, and under the leadership of 2nd Tsuchikage Wu, the first to capture 5 tails. 3 tails is no exception. The new generation of Rock Shinobi ninjas acted together with Tsuchikage, who was once famous for creating the unique blood succession elimination in the ninja world. Their admiration for nothing is even stronger. Hei too rushed back, but also joined in the hunt for the tailed beast out of desperation. The 4th generation doesn't seem to want to catch the tailed beast. Wu saw Haitu's dissatisfaction and spoke. And Kuroto no hope, as the ancestor Tsuchikage-sama. Why do you have to do this? This is not your era. Now is a new era for ninjas, it is our era, what should be done should be decided by us. Hearing what Hei-tu said, Wu smiled. Indeed, I am not from your era, even as a Tsuchikage, I should not interfere with a of this era. But 4th generation, Do you really think that your ninja world has achieved so-called peace? Hearing this, Hei-tu asked back, isn't it? It seems that Hei-tu doesn't understand at all. Wu sneered. You think there's no war in peacetime, do you? Of course, doesn't the absence of war mean peace? Compared with the era of the 5 major powers you had back then. Although the 5 major countries did not go to war on the surface, they met secretly during missions, and they would also fight each other, and even fought fiercely. Hearing these words, Wu did not refute and just asked, how many of the current Iwagakure common civilians are left? Hei-tu didn't pay much attention to this issue. After all, the current population of the village has been increasing. Why do you say how much is left? Ignorance. Seeing Hei-tu's incomprehensible expression, you can tell that she didn't notice this problem at all. Compared to the present, the original number of civilians in the village has only increased by less than 100,000 people in a few decades. Do you know what that means? What does that mean? Wouldn't it be great to increase the number of people in the village? On the other hand, why is this quite wrong in Wu's eyes? If there is real peace, in a few decades, the original population base in the village should increase by more than 10 times in such a long period of time. But why the increase in population is only so much? Because the people who belong to Iwagakure are now the people of Konoha. Is this what you call peace? No sneer. It may be peace, but in the end it will only be Konoha, and after a few hundred years, Iwagakure will disappear completely. Iwagakure, people from the land of earth will become people from the land of fire. Do you understand the 4th generation? If the exchange for peace is the destruction of Iwagakure, then let the whole world be buried together. Hei-tu froze when he heard this. Wu didn't look at her again, but turned his head and rushed in the direction of 5 tails. Be sure to catch the tail beast as soon as possible. Suddenly, a voice came from the direction of the black soil. Come and follow me. Wu looked back at her. Hei-tu said coldly, 3 tails, leave it to me. 5 tails, leave it to you. Wen Yunwu nodded with a smile. The other side. In Sanagakure, Gaara already understood the same truth, but he didn't know how to make a choice. But now he doesn't need to choose. 3rd Kazekage and 4th Kazekage make choices for him. The appearance of 8 tails made both Feng Ying very happy. Such mighty-tailed beasts, it's finally their turn. Sanagakure. Once because of poverty, Sanagakure only got 1 tail Shokurus, but now 8 tails, who can compete with 9 tails, appeared in Sanagakure. If you don't take advantage of this opportunity, you will simply live up to God's gift. The 3 Feng Ying dispatched and grabbed one of 8 tails without any problem. Even with the power of 1 tail, 8 tails has no resistance at all. However, although there is no problem in terms of combat power, catching tailed beasts is not something that can be completed in a day or two. Now every village is taking action. Only Kirigakure has not started yet. 6th Mizukage White. Face 2nd Mizukage, 3rd Mizukage, and even 4th Mizukage. 3 people. No concessions at all. Fighting against 3 Mizukages alone, he didn't lose the win. 1 on 3 showed the strength of Pervert, which surprised all 3 Mizukages. Kirigakure would have such a powerful Mizukage appear. And it's a woman. 6th generation. This is an opportunity for our Kirigakure to become stronger. Are you sure you want to stop it? Opportunity? Shiro looked at the 3 Mizukages in front of him. Now. I am Kirigakure's Mizukage. Although you were once Kirigakure's Mizukage, this era does not belong to you. The current Mist Shinobi is in my hands. Although she is a woman, the 3 Mizukages are very surprised by the haki displayed by Bai. 2nd generation, 3rd generation, 4th generation, the 4 Mizukage did not expect Bai to be so stubborn. As for 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei, who was on the side, seeing this scene in front of her, she was also very helpless. To tell the truth, she also agrees with the proposition of the 3 Mizukages, recovering 9 tails, the strongest tailed beast, and making Kirigakure stronger. But 6th Mizukage was chosen by herself. If you object to Bai, isn't it against herself? Terumi Mei can only choose to watch from the sidelines. If one of the 2 sides suffers heavy casualties, Terumi Mei will stop it. While situations are happening in every village, Konoha is also preparing a plan. Tail Beast Capture Plan. Naruto looked at the crowd. These men were called, witch-wrapped. Sasuke is of course. After all, there are too many targets this time. If Sasuke is not included, there may be a problem of insufficient manpower. All the tailed beasts have appeared. Except for 1 tail, which was taken away by Gaara at the beginning, the other 8 tailed beasts have appeared. Naruto looked at the crowd. Has the tail beast become a disaster again? I remember that I had distributed all the tailed beasts to the 5 major countries, and let the 5 major countries suppress the tailed beasts together. The person who said this was naturally Hashirama. Shikamaru looked at Hashirama, Shodai. It was true in the beginning, but now the tailed beasts are all gathered on the 6th generation target. Speaking of which, Hashirama looked at Naruto with some surprise. These days, Hashirama doesn't feel that Naruto is the kind of person who regards power as particularly important. Why do all the tail beasts? Thinking of this, Hashirama looked at Naruto suspiciously. And Naruto sighed helplessly and explained, I didn't catch these tailed beasts by myself, because I had to deal with Sasuke in the 4th Ninja World War, so Sage of Six Paths injected all the tailed beasts into my body, in vivo. So much so that the tailed beasts in every village are already here with me. Hearing this, Hashirama first glanced at Sasuke in surprise, then turned to look at Naruto. Aren't you two good friends? Hearing this, Sasuke was a little speechless. Weren't you and Madara once good friends? On the side, Madara's expression was a little strange, and she curled her lips in displeasure. Hashirama felt that the question he asked was a bit idiotic after being stunned by Sasuke. Okay. In short, you two are friends now. If you fight, you will fight. It doesn't matter if you lose. After all, Naruto has the power of all tailed beasts. Hearing this, Sasuke was a little speechless. Who told you that I lost? Hashirama was a little confused. No. Naruto got all the tailed beast chakra with the help of Sage of Six Paths. This is not lost. What a joke, although he thinks that Hashirama is not weak, but if he faces Madara who gathers all the tail beast chakra at the same time. Hashirama probably dare not say the word win. Sasuke didn't lose against Naruto who gathered all the tail beast chakra. Is this possible? Hashirama shook his head. This guy must have lost face and dare not admit it. However, Naruto said helplessly, although with the help of Sage of Six Paths, I got all the tail beast chakra, but I still lost against Sasuke. Hearing this answer, not only Hashirama, but Ashura was also very surprised. Even with his father's help, Naruto lost to Sasuke. At the beginning, he also got the help of his father to defeat the big brother. But the same thing happened to Naruto and Sasuke actually won instead. This kid. What kind of power do you have to defeat an opponent who has perverted to Naruto? Indra looked at the calm Sasuke, as if he had no pride in winning the battle with Naruto at all. Really, in Sasuke's world, these things never mattered. He didn't care about it at all, perhaps because of this reason. That's why Sasuke was able to easily defeat the opponent even though his opponent got help. Thinking of this, Indra glanced at Ashura beside him. I seem to have looked too narrowly at the beginning. Obviously there should be more things worth pursuing. In short, due to a special reason, all the tailed beasts in our world are already in my body. The tailed beasts that appear now don't belong to our world at all. So you have to catch them all and let Sasuke send them back to where they belong. Otherwise, if the time is disrupted, no one knows what the consequences will be. After Naruto finished speaking, others looked at Naruto. So what do you want to do? Ashura asked. Naruto. A total of 8 tailed beasts, 7 tails of Konoha, 9 tails of Mist Shinobi, Sand Shinobi 8 tails, 6 tails of Cloud Shinobi, 2 tails of the Land of Rain, and 4 tails of the Land of Iron. The Star Beast we all have to capture it in time. Saying that, Naruto glanced at the people present. Naruto, Sasuke, Hashirama, Madara, Ashura, Indra. No matter who the 6 are, they can easily catch the tailed beast alone. There is no doubt about it. As for the 8 tailed beasts, even if one person is in charge of one, obviously there are still 2 tailed beasts left. But according to Shikamaru's idea is, most of the remaining 2 tailed beasts are away in 4 tails. After all, these 2 tailed beasts did not appear in the 5 great nations. The primary target of each village is obviously the tailed beasts that appear in their own country. After all, whether in terms of distance or compared with other tailed beasts, it is relatively the best choice for them. So it is inevitable to give priority to catching your own tailed beast. Backquote. The major ninja villages will definitely give priority to capturing the tail beast of their own country. So if this is the case, the tailed beasts of the Land of Rain and the Land of Iron don't need to be so anxious for now. But if we have enough hands, we can also capture them together. As he spoke, Naruto looked at Uchiha Itachi, Hitaki Kakashi, Kiyibaya, and Hyuga Neji. If Sasuke and other 6 people are each in charge of a tailed beast, then these 4 people are divided into 2 groups, and if one group captures a tailed beast, then it is just a good allocation. The others nodded upon hearing this. Once the tail beast is obtained by other villages, it will definitely cause new disputes. Naruto said, he is a little helpless now. Looking at the crowd, so we must grab all the tail beasts before them. Speaking of this, there is actually another question. If Konoha really caught the 8-tailed beasts again, then it will also cause dissatisfaction in other villages. Adding the 9-tailed beasts in Naruto's body, Konoha has 17-tailed beasts. Under such circumstances, other villages will be more wary of Konoha. Views on Konoha will get bigger. But this problem, Naruto has thought of a solution. If the major villages are dissatisfied with the ownership of the last tail beast, then I can return the tail beast in my body to them. Hearing these words, the others looked at Naruto's gaze, and were even more admirable. Naruto is not dominated by power at all. Tailed beast is the power that many ninjas dream of, but Naruto gave up without hesitation. This also requires a certain degree of mind to be able to do it. Okay, since this is the case, let's each choose a target. Saying that, Sasuke's eyes fixed on 9 tails. Of all the tailed beasts, 9 tails are the most powerful, but even the strongest tailed beasts are really nothing. Go to Kirigakure for Cyan, the members of the outer formation of the Shell Organization, to see if he can learn from his mouth whether the Shell Organization took Otsutsuki Bushi's body away. Kirigakure's 9 tails to me. Sasuke opened his mouth and directly selected 9 tails, while Naruto opened his mouth and originally wanted to deal with 9 tails. 9 tails in Naruto also wanted to see what he looked like from another time node. And Naruto opened his mouth, wanting something. Shikamaru on the side nodded directly, and turned to Naruto and said, "Naruto, you should be in charge of 7 tails." Why? Naruto couldn't understand why he could only be in charge of 7 tails. You are Konoha's Hokage, can you leave Konoha casually? Especially in this special situation, 7 tails is in the land of fire, and you can come back faster after capturing 10 tails. Hearing this, Naruto was a little unhappy, but Shikamaru continued. What if something special happens to Konoha? Or what if someone from the past suddenly appears in Konoha? Hokage is not in the village, who will guard it? Well, this reason is something Naruto cannot refuse. He could only nod helplessly, agreeing with Shikamaru. Seeing Naruto being speechless, first generation smiled. Then 8 tails. Indra, 8 tails is up to me. When first generation was still in a daze, Madara Yi on the side directly said, leave 6 tails to me. Alright. The tail beasts with the most tails were all chosen by them. Ashura glanced at Hashirama, only 5 tails and 3 tails were left. Both tailed beasts are in Iwagakure, and it's really fitting that they both go to Iwagakure together. As for 4 tails and Erway, Kakashi and White Fang are responsible for 2 tails, while Itachi and Neji are responsible for 4 tails. Basically all tail beasts are allocated, but now there is one more thing. Shikamaru looked at the crowd. At this stage, the United Ninja Village still exists. If you go directly, I'm afraid it will cause some trouble. So if possible, I suggest that everyone lead the Genin team to enter other villages' territories in the name of performing missions. In this way, it will be more convenient to capture the tailed beast. And with Genin squad, so the other villages have no excuses. Take the Genin team to catch tailed beasts. Is there such a configuration in the ninja world to catch tailed beasts? But there are so many cage-level ninjas called Konoha nowadays. Whether it is Hashirama, Madara, Ashura or Indra, news about them should not have spread yet. In this way, the other villages will not know, and will only treat them as a simple Genin team. Even if there is doubt, it is impossible to doubt that they will catch the tailed beast. 1 Jonin takes 3 Genin to catch the tailed beast, isn't that courting death? Unless it's a Hokage like Naruto. But Konoha has only 1 Naruto, of course Sasuke might be noticed. After all, in the Chunin exam, a person who fought against Sasuke of the Otsutsuki clan, and at the same time defeated Naruto, was indeed very eye-catching. But all it takes is a little camouflage from Sasuke. Sasuke, your situation is quite special, many people in the ninja world still remember your name. So for this operation, you need to disguise yourself. No problem. Said Sasuke nodded, he didn't want to go to Kirigakure with much fanfare. What if that guy Ao ran away? Camouflage is very necessary. Just pretend to be Jonin, Konohamaru, the instructor of Class 7. Konohamaru? Sasuke froze for a moment, Sarutobi Konoha. Class 7 again. Is it on purpose or? Sasuke glanced at Naruto, and Naruto smiled helplessly. Sasuke, I can rest assured that I leave Boruto to you, please, help me take care of Boruto. Alright. It seems that it is indeed a special arrangement, but it is a father's love for his son. I hope that nothing will happen to my son. Sasuke can understand this situation. This time Genin needs to cooperate with the action, even as the son of Hokage, there is no exception to not participate. But if he participates, Hokage can also provide some convenience for his son. Relax. Boruto is safe with me. That's good. When are you leaving? We will set off tomorrow afternoon, and when we wait for you to leave the border of the Land of Fire, it will probably be in the evening, and we will be on our way at night. Shikamaru said. This arrangement is very good. Sasuke nodded. That's good. Let's go in the afternoon. By the way, before that, everyone should go and meet the genin team that you need to be in charge of. This was of course necessary, and Indra and Ashura were curious about the genin squad. A product of this era. A bunch of kid ninjas, it's kind of fun. And when everyone left, Shikamaru smiled, with the help of these cage level, not to be precise, ninjas beyond cage level, to lead the genin team, this will be the most difficult subject in their life. I hope these brats catch it. Naruto smiled faintly. The premise is that they should like these genin brats. It is true that no matter Hashirama, Madara, Indra, Ashura are extremely strong. But their eyesight is not so high either. How could ordinary genin brats catch their eyes? It's worth a try though. As long as 1.5 moves are taught by these people, the genins will benefit endlessly for a lifetime. At the same time, Konoha's new generation will also become more promising. This can be regarded as a little thought of Shikamaru and Naruto. And Sasuke needs to meet the 7th class of the new era, it doesn't need to be anywhere else. Itachi told him that class 7 would gather at home. Sasuke only needs to go back and be able to meet everyone in class 7. Sasuke has already met the people in the 7th class. Boruto, Sarana, and Mitsuki. Speaking of which, Sasuke admires Mizuki very much. Talented, but the potential of the body is also great. If one can practice well, then it is not too difficult to become a super ninja of the Grandmaster 5 escapes in the future. And with a natural sage transformation system, the intended chakra will become quite large. Basically, it can be done, at a level comparable to that of tailed beasts. Back to Uchiha. Sasuke pushed open the door, and Mito was busy preparing all kinds of pastries. The 3 little ghosts sitting in the living room are enjoying delicious food. Hearing the sound of the door opening, the 3 stood up immediately. Sasuke, uncle. Uchiha Sarada yelled in a low voice with a bit of embarrassment. On the other hand, Boruto, with bright eyes, finally had a chance to communicate with Sasuke himself. This man is stronger than his father. I must worship him as my teacher. Sasuke glanced at the 3 of them. Let's go to the backyard after eating. Before we set off, let's get acquainted with each other. You all know what this mission is. The 3 nodded. Konohamaru had already explained to them before coming. And Naruto also told Boruto privately. Sasuke came directly to the yard, and the 3 little devils didn't even eat, and walked out directly. Looks very impatient. Come and introduce yourself. Sasuke sat casually on a small stone in the courtyard. Holding the back with both hands, he looked at the 3 people in front of him indifferently. And the 3 of them were less nervous by Sasuke's casual gesture. Don't you already know our names? Zorana pouted. And Sasuke smiled. Self-introduction is more than just knowing your names. What does Sasuke-sama need us to introduce? Mizuki's address to Sasuke has changed. According to Sasuke, Orochimaru is Sasuke's master, so there seems to be nothing wrong with Miyue calling Sasuke an adult. Hobby. Interest. Ideal. State your requirements clearly and simply. Boruto stood up directly. Then start with me. My name is Uzumaki Boruto. I'm 12 years old. I like video games. My hobbies are mischief. Zorana on the side helped Boruto speak out at this time. Boruto suddenly became anxious. No, my interest is learning ninjutsu. After speaking, he looked at Sasuke with some guilt. Sasuke still didn't change any expression, just looked at him lightly. The ideal is to be a cool ninja. He originally wanted to talk about becoming a ninja like Sasuke, but in front of Sasuke himself, he couldn't say it. After all, from the perspective, Sasuke doesn't seem to be much bigger than them. My name is Mitsuki. I'm 12 years old. My hobby is to perform tasks, and my hobby is to watch Boruto work hard as a ninja. I don't have 10 ideals to become a free person. The children taught by Orochimaru seem to be dark everywhere, although Mizuki is very sunny now. But Sasuke couldn't be wrong to feel that way. My name is Uchiha Sarada. I am 12 years old. My hobby is to learn more about ninja knowledge, and my interest is to connect with my father in ninjutsu. Ideal is to become Konoha's Hokage. Uchiha's child inherits the will of fire, which is very interesting. Sasuke nodded. Then it's my turn now. Unexpectedly, Sasuke himself would also say something, and the 3 of them immediately became interested. Uchiha, Sasuke. When it comes to age, I don't know whether to count it as the age of my body or the age of my soul. Anyway, I and Naruto are the same age. You do the math yourself. Loving cultivation, interested in cultivation, ideal to become an omnipotent existence. After speaking, Sasuke looked up at the three of them. Hobbies and interests are all cultivators. Now Miyue seems to understand why the man in front of him is called the most genius. Not only has peerless talent, but also has the hard work that ordinary people can't match. No wonder such a person can compete with the strongest Hokage by virtue of his own strength. Through the above conversation, you and I should have a general understanding of each other's personality and temper. Then let's prepare for the next step. Set off in the afternoon, and the execution of the Lingyan village will fall. The three nodded, and Naruto, who was watching this scene somewhere at the moment. In a trance, I will remember when they first met Kakashi in the 7th class. It's the same process. Sasuke, I leave Boruto to you. Naruto withdrew his gaze. In the afternoon, Sasuke rediscovered his previous outfit, Orochimaru-style outfit. This set of clothes may be because it has been worn for a long time, so Sasuke feels used to it, and it is the most comfortable to wear. When I came to the gate of Konoha's village, I had nothing to explain. After all, Sasuke is the most talented existence, even Naruto probably has nothing to say to Sasuke. A group of people left Konoha smoothly. On the way, Sasuke looked back at the three people with big bags and small bags. He raised his hand and threw a gauntlet to the three of them. Take it. Put your luggage in. There is a storage space on it, you can put your things in it, so you don't have to carry it with you. Looking at the thing in their hands, the three of them were very surprised. Did you just give them such a precious thing? The excited Boruto couldn't even hide his emotions, and almost couldn't help but shouted loudly. But seeing Sasuke looking at them calmly, he put a lot of pressure on the three of them. Not too carried away. The three of them moved forward slowly, and did not deliberately speed up their journey. Just keep the state of common, don't need to speed up, try not to attract attention. However, according to this speed, although the transportation in the new era is very convenient, it will probably take a day or two to arrive at Kirigakure. So during this time Sasuke thought maybe he could find something else to pass the time. During the break, Uchiha Sarada wanted to take the opportunity to ask Sasuke about the secrets of the lightning-style ninjutsu that he had taught before. However, after hearing Uchiha Sarada's question, Sasuke called all three of them over. There is still a lot of time to hurry. During this time, do you want to try and learn some new ninjutsu? It was said that the eyes of the three of them immediately burst into light. However, Miyue is just a little curious, and doesn't have that strong expectation for ninjutsu. Miyue, I said before that I want to accept you as a disciple, what are you thinking now? Hearing this, Miyue froze for a moment and then nodded, of course. If the teacher is willing to teach, I will be grateful. Sasuke nodded. Boruto was a little anxious at this moment. Uchiha Sarada is from Sasuke's family, and she is also the daughter of Sasuke's big brother, so Sasuke will definitely teach Uchiha Sarada any ninjutsu she wants to learn. And Miyue became Sasuke's disciple again, so doesn't it mean that he is the only one who has not been favored by Sasuke at all? Could it be that his talent is so poor? Zorarna, your previous lightning style discharge is already very good, but you don't have much experience as a beginner. It's good to accumulate this thing slowly. Speaking of which, I have prepared a gift for you. In your gauntlet storage space, you can take a look for yourself. Saying that, Uchiha Sarada was very surprised, and rummaged through it. The next second bang. Along with white smoke, Zorarna took out a short sword. This sword is called the Kusanagi sword, and it is made of a very special metal. It's very sharp. Uchiha Sarada tried it, and with a light wave, there was a sharp sound of breaking the wind. The blade is also just the right size for a female ninja. At the same time, I want to teach you a new technique. This is my uncle, a gift for my niece. This technique is a ninjutsu, pure ninjutsu. Combined with the Kusanagi sword in your hand, it will have amazing power. Uchiha Sarada was even more excited now. What kind of technique will it be? The name of this technique is Breath of Thunder. Thunder Breath. What? Sayue was stunned for a moment, but he had heard his father say it many times. Breath of Thunder. It is a very powerful lightning-style ninjutsu, even more powerful ninjutsu than Cloud Shinobi Village's lightning-style chakra mode. But it's also a knife technique, and the man who created this ninjutsu is Uchiha Sasuke Wan. Thunder Breath? Uchiha Sarada muttered the name silently. It also sounds pretty good. Thunder's Breath has a total of 7 styles, and to be precise, there is also an 8th style, but the 8th style needs to be used in conjunction with another physical skill, 8-gate escape and the state of the 8th gate to be used. I heard Sasuke talking casually, as if he was talking about ordinary ninjutsu. Miyue and Uchiha Sarada were completely dumbfounded. It needs to cooperate with another physical skill, 4th gate escape. If the two of them remember correctly, 8 inner gates itself is Konoha's forbidden body art. The power is very huge, and if you want to practice to reach the 8th gate, it is even more difficult to get it, and the 8th form of thunder breathing can only be used with this physical skill to open the 8th gate. How much pervert power would it have to have? Thinking of this, Uchiha Sarada is now completely interested, a technique with such high prerequisite requirements. Precious. Then the power is absolutely terrifying. The specific method, I will teach you slowly. First teach you the first step, adjust your breathing. Let go of the chakra in your body, don't restrain it with your will, let it flow with your breath, and flow. If you can do the first step, then your breath of thunder can be learned. As he spoke, he turned to look at Miyue on the other side. Miyue. As your teacher, I naturally need to teach you a new ninja. This ninjutsu is also similar to my famous ninjutsu, and it should match you very well. You know how to use fairy art, so with this trick, you can instantly enter another level. Sasuke smiled, and Mitsuki also looked forward to it, Sasuke's famous ninjutsu. What kind of ninja will it be? Lightning style, extreme speed. The simple 4 words made Ri-er stunned in place. Lightning style is extremely fast, and it was once the technique that gave Sasuke the title of Black Lightning. He was willing to teach it to himself. Lightning style is fast. Divided into 2 types, one is the flashlight controlled by your own will. The other is to leave everything to instinct, the type called blast and thunder. No matter which type it is, if you add the power of your fairy chakra, then it is enough to greatly increase your speed. Let you have a speed comparable to teleportation. At the same time, speed is power, and it can also increase your attack power a lot. Hearing this, even though Miyue was very calm before, there is no way to continue to calm down now. Lightning style is super fast, that's a proper S-rank ninjutsu. At this time, Mizuki had no time to speak, and Boruto beside him couldn't help but speak. Mr. Sasuke, can you teach me this technique too? Hearing this, Sasuke shook his head, no way. Boruto, who was rejected by Sasuke, froze in place for the first time. And Mizuki and Uchiha Sarada didn't expect Sasuke to refuse so simply. What does this say about Naruto? How come? Isn't Mr. Sasuke and Naruto good friends? Why would Sasuke? Teacher, please teach Boruto, he is also very talented. Mizuki wanted to intercede with Boruto, but Sasuke just smiled. Did I tell you not to teach him? Hearing this, Boruto was stunned for a moment, raised his head again and looked at Sasuke suspiciously. Then why, you can't teach me this ninja bed? Because you are not suitable, not suitable. Hearing this, Boruto was a little unconvinced. I also have lightning style chakra, why isn't it suitable? Because of your character, you are not as careful as Miyue. Using lightning style to fight with lightning speed is bound to be risky. Miyu's calmness can ensure everything is safe, but you can't. Hearing this reason, Boruto wanted to refute, but he didn't know what to say. It seems that at most the other party taught him a common ninjutsu. She didn't intend to be as infinitely kind to him as she was to Miyue and Uchiha Sarada. Sarana, I taught her Black Lightning style, Chidori, and Lightning style Discharge and Breath of Thunder. Not because she is Itachi's daughter, but also because she inherits Uchiha's blood, has Sharingan, and the fighting style will definitely be diversified. Analyze the target, judge the target, choose the appropriate fighting method, and win the battle, so Uchiha Sarada needs a variety of techniques. Said Sasuke looked at Mizuki. As for Miyue, she is calm, and her fighting style is biased towards clever use of the opponent's character and attack style to give full play to her own advantages. So lightning style is a very good choice for Miyue. And you? Sasuke now looks towards Boruto at the end. You are careless, but you are very courageous. If you teach lightning style to be fast, then you will only rush forward in battle. Once you are unlucky or make a mistake in judgment, you may never return. So you should learn another jutsu. At the same time, this technique, in the hands of your grandfather, once shocked the entire ninja world. Being known as the Flash of Gold, I hope that after you learn this technique, you can also inherit this title. Gold Glitter. Such a cool name. Boruto originally thought that Sasuke would treat him differently, but now it seems that Sasuke doesn't at all, and treats himself completely equally. The name of this technique is Flying Thunder God Technique. It is a space-type ninjutsu. Space-type. Boruto didn't expect that he would get a surprise. Space ninjutsu sounds more powerful than lightning style. And Mizuki focused on Sasuke at this time. What an amazing reserve of ninjutsu. Even the forbidden technique like Flying Thunder God has also been mastered. As expected of the man who is called the encyclopedia of the ninja world. Perhaps there is no technique that this man can't do. By the way, do you know how to use Rasengan? Hearing this, Boruto froze for a moment, then shook his head. What is that Rasengan? It seems that without the plot of the original book, Boruto didn't even learn Rasengan. It seems that I am busy. It's okay, if you don't know how to learn, I will teach you Rasengan. It is an offensive ninjutsu that can be used directly without the seal. It belongs to the type of melee attack ninjutsu. The power can be compared with Chidori. Hearing Chidori, Boruto suddenly smiled. He has already seen how amazing the power of Uchiha Sarada's Chidori is in the Chunin exam. Now he can master ninjutsu comparable to Chidori, which is very happy. The faces of the three of them flashed with joy. Sasuke looked at the time. Okay, let's go. I'll teach you as we go. These techniques are very simple. You don't need to use your brain at all, you can master it. When Sasuke said this, the Japanese seemed to be a bit unconvinced. No matter which ninjutsu Sasuke just said, from Miyu's point of view, all of them belong to the scope of forbidden technique, but Sasuke actually said that he can learn it without using his brain. This is probably impossible. And the fact is indeed the case. Sasuke's eyes are very simple, in the eyes of the three, it is almost fatal. Especially Boruto, which is just the beginning practice, kunai throwing technique above. Boruto sees what a real monster is. Sasuke has a shuriken, and at the same time knocked down his 5 kunai. What kind of fairy skill is this? Your talent. It seems that I overestimated it. Sasuke said very flatly. But these words seemed to stab a knife in the hearts of the three of them. More than a day passed. The 4 of them are finally approaching Kirigakure. Once in Kirigakure, the mission to capture 9 tails begins. And during this time, Sasuke thought that the 3 of them could master this ninjutsu. At least it can be regarded as an entry. The truth is, however, that Sasuke overestimated them. If they don't use the gods to help them, it may take several weeks or even more than a month for them to barely get started with their talents. This practice speed is too slow. Regardless of whether it's Sarada, Boruto, or Mitsuki. They were also very confident in their talents. But, for more than a day, they didn't even understand the most basic principles. Let Sasuke sigh countless times. Even when he learned that Sasuke learned these skills, he learned them after just a glance. They became even more restless. To what extent do you have to pervert to be able to learn ninjutsu just by looking at it? Is this still a talent that humans can possess? At this moment, the 3 of them realized thoroughly what it means to be a ninja world, and there will be no second genius in. If Sasuke's talent is really as he said, I am afraid that there will never be such a person in the ninja world in the future. Uchiha Sasuke, looking at the entire history of the ninja world, is definitely the only one. Ms. Sasuke. It was specially emphasized by Sasuke that you should call yourself a teacher outside, not after calling yourself uncle. Uchiha Sarada's address to Sasuke became teacher. Why don't you just learn it directly from the previous method that helped me practice? Hearing this, Boruto and Mizuki were a little surprised. Sasuke can also help them learn directly. How can this be? If even others learn ninjutsu, Sasuke has a way to help, so that others can learn quickly. Then it seems that there is not too far away from what Sasuke said to become an omnipotent existence. But Sasuke shook his head. This is different. If you don't master these techniques yourself, then you probably won't make any progress in the future. If you want to overdraw your own potential so that you can master these techniques, I can help you too. Hearing this, Uchiha Sarada was silent. Overdraw your own potential? Forget it. It's better not to do this kind of thing. Although the temptation to learn is great, the overdraft potential is too much. Never mind. Zorana shook her head. Sasuke said with a smile, although it was easy for you to master the 2 ninjutsu at the time, it will be more difficult to improve later, and everything is not free. Hearing this, Uchiha Sarada nodded thoughtfully. At this moment, the 4 of them had arrived near Kirigakure. Riding on a lone boat, he kept moving forward on the misty sea. Boruto was a little puzzled, why the weather was fine before, but it seems to have changed in a blink of an eye. Said that Miyue also showed doubts, because this weather is not formed naturally but artificially changed. Someone used the water style, mist shinobi technique to cover up a large area around here. What? Man-made? Boruto was stunned. From a distance, the area may reach thousands of square meters. What ninja's ninjutsu can cover such an area? This is too pervert. Sasuke smiled. It's also thanks to that guy, who expanded the coverage area to such an extent that he can't detect our breath. The ship continued to sail forward, and soon landed on a small island. As soon as he set foot on this small island, Sasuke immediately felt that there are many ninjas on the island. A rough estimate of the number may be nearly 1,000 ninjas. Needless to say, these are naturally ninjas from Jonghyun village. Sasuke smiled. In order to capture 9 tails with such a big battle, it seems that Mist Shinobi is bound to win for 9 tails. But that's right, as the strongest tailed beast, 9 tails allure is so strong, it goes without saying. It's just that Sasuke was a little puzzled, as if he didn't feel the breath of Bai. As the 6th Mizukage of Mist Shinobi, catch big things like 9 tails. How could there be no white participation? But at this moment, on the island, there are a few breaths that Sasuke is very familiar with. No wonder Mist Shinobi actually dared to take on 9 tails. Sasuke whispered. The 3 behind him silently listened to Sasuke speak. So it's because 2nd Mizukage and 4th Mizukage both came to Kirigakure. There is also a strange breath, it should be 3rd Mizukage. Plus the previous Mizukage, 5th Mizukage. To capture 9 tails and dispatch all 4 Mizukages, this is a must. Sasuke said lightly. However, they couldn't help being a little worried when they heard that there were 4 Mizukages, Boruto. 4 cage-level ninjas, are there really no problems? Here Sasuke is not only alone, not to mention they have a drag bottle. If it was just him alone, maybe it would be a little easier. Boruto opened his mouth to say something. However, footsteps came in the next second, and a ninja team walked out of the garden in front of him. They seemed to come to the shore to prohibit or patrol or something. However, when they saw Sasuke and others, they were stunned. And at this moment, Boruto, Sun Moon, and Uchiha Sarada's hearts almost jumped out. Has this been discovered? It's a bad start to be discovered before you start sneaking in. Then the next situation will be even worse. However, at this time Sasuke's voice sounded. Let's go. What are you still doing here? The 3 came back to their senses and saw Sasuke passing through the middle of the Mist Shinobi ninja team, while the other party seemed to be stunned. There is no response at all. Just stood there quietly. It's like being petrified. The 3 of them froze for a moment, then hurriedly followed Sasuke, but Uchiha Sarada and the others couldn't figure it out. Why didn't they move? Didn't they see us? Hearing this, Sasuke turned around and smiled casually. Oh. This one. It's very simple. You have all learned this ability in ninja school, isn't it just illusion? Illusion? Illusion can do this? Immediately freeze people instantly? Sasuke looked down at the 3 of them for a moment, and a pair of Sharingan had been opened at some point. Just relying on pupil power, Sasuke's Sharingan almost lost the 3 of them. The 3 of them recovered from Sasuke's eyes and suddenly seemed to understand. My Sharingan, common, just glance at it, and I'm afraid I'll get lost in it. With a little illusion, an ordinary Jonin will be immobilized in an instant. So, taking a team of fog ninja just now was solved by my illusion. Listening to what Sasuke said is very simple, but in the actual situation, how much illusion pervert is needed to be able to achieve such a heavy weight? The 3 of them probably imagined that even Konoha's strongest phantom ninja would have to call sensei in front of Sasuke. Follow Sasuke and walk straight ahead. And the 3 people who followed behind were all a little uneasy in their hearts. After all, there are only 4 of them, and this is Mist Shinobi's territory. A team of Mist Shinobi ninjas just appeared has made the 3 realize that something is wrong. After all, on such a remote island, it is possible to see ninja squads at will. This shows that there may be more than just a ninja team here. Mr. Sasuke, I'm afraid there are quite a few enemies here. As Miyue said, Sasuke nodded, that's right, it's quite a lot. At first glance, there should be more than 1,000 people. Hearing this number, the hearts of the 3 of them were almost in their throats. Immediately began to be vigilant around. But Sasuke still walked forward as usual. Perhaps sensing that the speed of the people behind him had slowed down, Sasuke looked back at them. What are you doing? Hurry up. At this time, Uchiha Sarada asked worriedly, Mr. Sasuke, don't we take care of our surroundings? There are more than 1,000 enemies on this island. Ah. What's the matter? Sasuke doesn't understand. What's the matter with more than 1,000 people? Is there any big problem? Hearing that Sasuke seemed to be disapproving. Suddenly Uchiha Sarada was speechless. That's more than 1,000 enemies. Aren't more than 1,000 enemies underestimated? Mr. Sasuke, let's move forward carefully. Walk forward like this. I'm afraid it won't be long before they will be discovered. Sasuke looked at Boruto, so what happened? Boruto was also helpless. Sasuke didn't pay attention to these people at all. While talking, the sound of Shishi Suso sounded, and a ninja team came out from the front. With the same number of people, their chakra fluctuations looked like it was a Chunin team. Chakra's fluctuations are much stronger than the Genin team at the outermost edge of the island just now. The moment they saw Uchiha Sasuke and others, they immediately reacted. Not good. Someone invaded the island. Send the signal. A signal flare rose directly and exploded in the sky. Zorana and the three looked at the light that lit up in the sky. Suddenly, the heartbeat accelerated and the blood boiled. Completely and utterly bewildered. This has been discovered, what to do next? Mizuki didn't understand. Mr. Sasuke, why didn't you use illusion to fix them? Sasuke shook his head, it's not necessary, you seem to be very afraid of the ninjas on this island, luckily, let's kill them all. That way you won't be afraid, forehead. What is the logic? If you are afraid of the enemy, just kill the enemy. This idea is too scary. Sasuke gently twisted his neck, turned to look at the three of them. Do you want to save a few for you to practice later? The three of them froze for a moment. Then Uchiha Sarada was the first to shake her head. How many practice hands are left? Forget it. In this case, it is better to be able to deal with the enemy faster. What about practicing hands or something? There is absolutely no need for this. Who are you? Forehead protector of Konoha, are you Konoha's ninjas? Damn Konoha shinobi, to touch this kind of place, is it really aimed at 9 tails? Konoha. Your appetite is too big. Konoha already has 9-tailed beasts, and now you want to fight Kirigakure 9 tails, you guys are too greedy. Talking about this team of Chunin, he immediately planned to go. However, the next second, shurikens suddenly appeared. 4 shurikens, directly with a silver flash. Instantly hit the eyebrows of 4 people at the same time, and the moment blood splashed, the 4 people immediately lost their breath. Bang bang bang. Looking at the 4 people who suddenly fell to the ground and died. Boruto and the others behind him were stunned and died. This is to die for. Chunin level mist shinobi ninja, was killed so easily? Yet it seemed to be seeing death for the first time. Except for Mizuki, Sarana and Boruto have unnatural expressions. First time seeing a murder. Hearing this, the faces of the 2 of them became even more livid. They nodded silently. Then Sasuke smiled, as a ninja, I don't even dare to kill people, why should I endure it? Boruto seemed to want to refute something. However, before he opened his mouth, Sasuke said directly, no matter how high-sounding the reason is, even if you are a bad person, you have no right to deprive others of their lives. You have nothing to do. As a ninja, don't make so many excuses for yourself. If you don't dare to do it, you don't dare to do it. To kill is to kill. Don't say anything to me for justice. Said Sasuke walked straight ahead. Such words have a great impact on Boruto and Sarana, who live in the new era and have received peace education in peacetime. And now Sasuke didn't even give them time to think, and walked straight through the woods. The signal flare is sent out, the sky lights up, and the number of mist shinobi ninjas gathered here is amazing. Sasuke glanced at the open area in front of him. Glancing back at the 3 of them, hide well. Just right. Uchiha Sarada, let me show you the power of Thunder Breath. Concentrate on copying with your Sharingan. The 3 of them hid in a stone crevice, looked out through the crevice, and stood in the middle of the open space, Sasuke under a big tree. Soon, the surrounding movement became more and more obvious. Obviously, a large number of ninjas gathered here. Swish swish swish, a black shadow appeared. They looked at Sasuke under the tree. Who dare to trespass on this island? This is Kirigakure's island, you'd better leave. Sasuke doesn't wear Konoha's forehead protector, so these guys naturally don't know that Sasuke is the ninja of that village. However, when this guy was talking, puff. A shuriken pierced directly between his eyebrows, with a plop. The guy just fell to the ground. Seeing this scene, the surrounding one-in twitched involuntarily. What a quick move. When did you throw the shuriken? To be able to have this kind of speed, and hit the talking companion with such precision. You must know that it is shrouded in heavy fog, and the light is not very good. It can accurately determine the location of a person in an instant. This person in front of him is not a good stubble. Everyone, grab this guy, I want to see who dares to provoke me, Kirigakure. Court death. Speaking of that, the surrounding fog ninja rushed up one after another. At this moment, Sasuke glanced in the direction of Uchiha Sarada without any trace, and then slowly touched the handle of the knife behind his waist with his right hand. Turning his head to look at the 5 mist ninjas rushing forward. Sasuke exhaled lightly. At this moment, Sarana's Sharingan was fully fired. She has noticed that Sasuke's chakra flow seems to be one with nature for a moment. Immediately afterwards, Sasuke drew the knife, and the blade just came out less than an inch away. At this moment, Sasuke's chakra seemed to directly turn into lightning in Uchiha Sarada's eyes. Thunder breath. One of a kind. A flash of thunder. 6 companies. Thunder. Blink. The roar has not had time to sound. In the next second, the 5 ninjas in front fell to the ground one after another. Looking at the scene in front of them, the 3 of Uchiha Sarada froze in place. Boruto. What a fast knife. Mitsuki. Terrifying thunder. Zorana. As this. Breath of thunder? Clutching the knife commander gave her. Watching the scene where the 5 ninjas slowly fell to the ground, one after another being sealed off with a single blow. The terrifying fighting power of Breath of Thunder has been perfectly demonstrated. And Sasuke's speed just now was extremely terrifying, and with the swing of the blade, the thunder raged spontaneously. As if there is no need to control chakra, only through the method of breathing, thunder burst out the purest power. In the face of such power, it seems that there is nothing that cannot be broken with a single knife. Sasuke slowly sheathed the knife. Turn your head and look at a few ninjas who suddenly stopped on the left. Sasuke's shot just now has already brought them down. In an instant, 5 companions died instantly. There is no time to react at all. What kind of monster is this? It is so terrifying to make a shot, and the kunai in the hands of several people even fell to the ground. Listening and watching the cold sweat on their foreheads. Sasuke smiled. But there is no sound. The next second, thunder erupted from Sasuke's body. At this moment Sasuke looked at Mizuki from the corner of his eye. Miyue. Watch it. Here's my other trick. Lightning style. Extreme speed. Crack. This time the effect is also different. Although the thunder erupted from the body, the movement of returning to Thunder God speed is much bigger. And with the surge of thunder and lightning, Black's thunder sky flickered, hiding Sasuke's figure in the darkness as if. The moment the thunder and lightning roar sounded in the next second. Lightning faster speeds emerged. Fast wind and thunder. Sasuke directly turned on the blast and thunder mode. In this state, there is no need for Sasuke to think on his own, and the body will directly make attack actions according to the enemy's reaction. He didn't need to think at all. Black's thunder flashed by, accompanied by a fierce roar. The explosion broke out at an even faster speed, and at this moment, Sayue broke out in sweat profusely. Quick. Quick. So fast. This speed is many times faster than the speed just now. Kaka. Suddenly there was the sound of bones breaking from these ninjas, or maybe the sound of their necks being twisted. However, like a black flash, Sasuke, who turned around from a distance and came back again, stood motionless again. The black lightning on his body flickered, turning Sasuke's hair into a lightning-like shape. Lightning style. Speed. Bang bang bang. The breath of the ninjas who fell to the ground one after another has also disappeared. Of the 10 or so ninjas who arrived in the first batch, only one Jonin was left standing there, staring blankly at Sasuke. That look seemed to have seen a ghost. The body trembled uncontrollably. Ghost. You are a ghost. You are not human. Ghost. He yelled loudly, and the next second he turned around. Sasuke was already in front of him. Looking at Sasuke, who is close at hand, the shape of the lightning in his hair has changed a little. Sasuke raised his hand and grabbed the opponent's neck. Looking at the person in front of him, Sasuke spoke to Ryu. Speed is power. When the speed reaches a certain level, the power produced is equally terrifying. Beep. Lightning's punch hit the opponent's chest. The mist ninja instantly flew out backwards like a cannon ejected from its chamber, and flew tens of meters away in an instant. At the same time, he crashed into more than a dozen trees in the forest, and when he stopped, this person should have been completely unrecognizable. The lightning on his body disappeared. Sasuke looked in the direction of Mizuki and the others. This is another technique of mine, lightning style. You should have seen the 2 usages shown just now, blast and thunder, and flash. Of course Miyue saw it and saw it very clearly. But when Sasuke started, the astonishing speed dazzled him, and he couldn't catch Sasuke's movements at all. So fast that even the eyes can't catch it. The shock in Miyu's heart could no longer be increased. At this time, the second batch of ninjas were already in place. They seemed to be advancing cautiously, perhaps because they heard the screams of their companions just now. What a ghost. No matter how careful they were, Sasuke didn't care, raising his hand and pulling out a series of shurikens. Sasuke said slowly, now demonstrate how to use Flying Thunder God. From the technique developed by second Hokage, Flying Thunder God. Promoted by fourth Hokage, the famous ninja bed. The power of this jutsu, if you use it well, Just this ninjutsu alone is enough to give you a fighting power comparable to Kage level. Said Sasuke slowly raised the shuriken in his hand. As he spoke, Sasuke had carved the flying thunder god mark on his shuriken. In the next second, Sasuke directly threw the shuriken in his hand in an extremely strange way. In the gaze of the three, they saw that the shurikens collided with each other in the air as soon as they were released. While colliding back and forth, it can actually fly forward at an extremely fast speed. In a blink of an eye, he bypassed the big tree blocking the flight path and shot at the ninjas who were coming. The advancing mist ninjas raised their heads and stared carefully at the front when they heard the jingle. In the next second, a large wave of shurikens flew out, shooting directly in their direction. Enemy attack. Get out of the way. It wasn't too fast when the shuriken arrived in front of them. Dodging is fairly easy, however, the next second. Accompanied by the first shuriken passing the first person's shoulder. Suddenly, a huge black shadow suddenly appeared above his head. The blade exuding purple light slashed across his throat. Blood splashed out and formed a red bloodline in the air. Immediately after the second person, the third person, and the fourth person. One by one. These ninjas dodged shuriken attacks, but they did not dodge Sasuke, who kept jumping and flashing in various positions like a ghost. The Kusanagi sword in Sasuke's hand is like Shinigami's sickle. At the same time they heard the sound of the shuriken breaking the wind coming from their ears. The sound of the wind breaking from the blade was also covered up. So much so that they lost their breath the moment they felt the coolness on their necks. Although the flashing figure is extremely fast, this speed is different from the lightning speed of the previous lightning style. Seeing Sasuke's elegant attack, Boruto instantly killed more than a dozen ninjas who came to support him. And when Sasuke reappeared in the same place, the shurikens that flew out were all nailed to the trunk. Accompanied by corpses falling from the air, one after another on the ground. Blood slid down Sasuke's Kusanagi sword. He waved his hand casually, shaking off the blood on the blade. Then sheathed the knife. Sasuke turned to look at several people. Thunder's breath, lightning style, extreme speed, flying thunder god technique. How powerful are these techniques? Hearing this question, the three figures now have only one word to answer in their minds. Powerful. Let's go. Sasuke seems intent on moving on. However, the three of them froze for a moment. Although they just watched Sasuke's demonstration of the technique, it was indeed terrifyingly strong. But, are there still enemies left unsolved? The opponent fired a signal flare, but it's not just these few people coming. There are more than 1,000 enemies on the island, and the support of hundreds of people is not very easy. But Sasuke is about to move on. Mr. Sasuke, the enemy is approaching us. Wouldn't it be easier for us to move randomly at this time? Enemy? Sasuke smiled. Don't worry about the rest of the enemies, let's deal with them right away. Said Sasuke clapped his hands. The moment they saw this action, the Japanese suddenly seemed to think of something. Wood style, the tree world is coming. The moment the voice fell, the surrounding trees began to erupt instantly, and wood style Neiman began to spread. In almost the blink of an eye the whole island was covered. At the same time, the ninjas who were coming towards Sasuke were all strangled by wood style Fujiman. Even a lot of ninjas are trapped by wood-style vines for the first time. Feeling the astonishing power, they suddenly thought of a person in their minds. Konoha's 6th Hokage. Damn it. You came to Kirigakure. Are you here for 9 tails? The only person who has the power of wood-style in the ninja world today is Konoha's 6th Hokage. I thought the power of wood-style was just an exaggeration. I didn't expect the power of wood-style to be so terrifying. As expected of the power to calm the troubled times. Amidst the screams, these fog ninjas died one after another. Sasuke clapped his hands. Okay, it's all done. Let's go. The three of them suddenly felt trembling all over. Uchiha Sasuke is indeed terrifyingly strong, and it's no wonder why even his father is not this man's opponent. Powerful. Pure to the power of ultimate. And without any scruples. This is Uchiha Sasuke. Boruto thought back to his father. I told him before. Sasuke is unscrupulous, doing everything with his own mood, it seems very inappropriate. But such Sasuke is free. The three of them came out slowly and silently followed Sasuke. You can see the traces of wood-style Fujiman called Wu Ninja along the way. These mist shinobi ninjas twisted and crushed into a pulp by wood-style vines. Their death was very miserable. Even Miyue couldn't bear to see it. Sasuke didn't care about that. This is the fate of ninjas. Since I chose to be a ninja, why not face death directly? Came to a lake. Sasuke looked at the huge cage in the middle of the lake. The 9 tails inside were entangled with a series of iron chains, and were trapped in the lake. The surrounding ninjas who are good at sealing techniques are constantly using the power of sealing to suppress chakra of 9 tails. It seems that it is about to be sealed into the body of a certain ninja. And that's just the preparation. This lake is very wide, and it seems that thanks to the water here, people who cast the mist shinobi technique can have enough fog to completely cover the huge island and the surrounding sea area. But now, the fog has gradually dissipated, and at the edge, 4 Mizukage from Kirigakure are guarding one direction respectively. It is also infused with a large amount of chakra to help seal the 9 tails. When Zuo and the others appeared by the lake, the 4 of them slowly closed their hands at the same time. 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei looked at Sasuke. Wood style just now, I thought it was Konoha's 6th Hokage coming. The person who didn't expect to come is a guy more terrifying than 6th Hokage. Terumi Mei looked at Sasuke in front of her. 2nd generation, 3rd generation, 4th generation, they are all shadows who came to this world from different time points, and they have no memory of Sasuke at all. But 5th Mizukage Terumi Mei is different. She has experienced the 4th Ninja World War. She knew very well that Sasuke possessed a terrifying power. 2nd Mizukage frowned. 5th generation, is this kid very strong? Powerful? Terumi Mei smiled. To be precise, this man should not be described as strong. He is almost invincible in the ninja world. In the past, the 5 Kages teamed up and were beaten by Sasuke, and even the ninja Uchiha Madara in Legendary couldn't suppress Sasuke. Such a terrifying combat power, even in today's ninja world. Uzumaki Naruto, who has gathered 9-tailed beast chakra, facing Sasuke is still defeated. Perhaps Naruto, who has mastered the 9-tailed beast chakra proficiently now, has improved a lot in strength. But facing Sasuke may still not be a safe situation. Even if this Sasuke is the Sasuke during the 4th Ninja World War. But even Uchiha Sasuke at that time was already an invincible existence. Hearing the evaluation given by the 5th generation, the generation 3rd generation 4th Mizukage showed serious expressions. Although Terumi Mei is a woman, her strength as the village's 5th Mizukage was previously recognized by the 3 of them. In the battle with 6th Mizukage Bai a few days ago, if Terumi Mei hadn't made a move, I am afraid that the 3 of them would have been severely injured by Bai. Even now, people still have frostbite left by Bai. The left and right hands of the 2nd generation, the profile of the 3rd generation, and the back of the 4th generation. There are traces left by Bai Bingdun's blood following the boundary, and these frostbite cannot be completely recovered. Traces will always be with them throughout their lives. And thanks to 5th Mizukage, they were not defeated by 6th generation alone. The strength of 5th Mizukage has also been recognized by them, but now Terumi Mei actually said that Sasuke is almost invincible to the current ninja world. Isn't this rating too high? Invincible? What kind of person can be called invincible? With such a little devil. 5th generation. With such a brat, what kind of ninja world is invincible? Although he seems to have mastered the wood style of the 1st generation, the power of the wood style to pacify the troubled times is indeed terrifying, but it can't be called invincible. 2nd Mizukage seemed very unconvinced. However, Terumi Mei smiled helplessly. This man is from the Uchiha clan. The Uchiha clan? What? 2nd Mizukage was dumbfounded. Just now he was obviously wood style, but you said he was from the Uchiha clan. How did the Uchiha clan master wood style? Wood style is the bloodline of Senju Hashirama. Is this kid a fusion of the blood of Senju and Uchiha? Hearing this, Terumi Mei shook her head. No, he is pure Uchiha. His wood style blood succession limit, developed by himself. Or to put it another way, there is no blood succession limit in this ninja world that he can't master, and he can even use Bai's ice escape. And it's even stronger than Bai. Speaking of Bingdun, the faces of the 3 of them suddenly became gloomy. After all, Bai left a deep impression on them. And now there are other people who can freeze. Although Terumi Mei said that Sasuke seems scary, but the 3 of them are not false at all. 9 tails are vital to Mist Shinobi anyway. No matter who the kid in front of me is, even if he is a god, he must never let him have the slightest idea of 9 tails. 2nd Mizukage seems to be a little confused about the situation. He doesn't think Sasuke is so strong. Even 5th Mizukage had clearly told him about Sasuke's terror. But Sasuke's appearance really made it hard for 2nd Mizukage to believe that such a young kid. No matter how strong it can be, where can it go? At this time, Sasuke was not too anxious. Just glanced at the situation of 9 tails. Now it has just entered the sealing stage, and the sealing has not yet started. Looking at their looks at the same time, It seems that they haven't decided who to seal the 9 tails into. After all, Kirigakure doesn't have the ability to suppress 9 tails, or should have. That is the people of the Wei Yoruichi tribe. They are inherently strong institutionally, although chakra is not strong. But with a strong system, it can completely withstand 9 tails chakra. At the same time, relying on the chakra of the tailed beast, it can even evolve the vein of the corpse, and relieve the inherent blood-inherited disease. It is a pity that the Wei Yoruichi tribe has long been extinct in this era. And now Kirigakure naturally has no suitable candidates for 9 tails Jinchuriki. If any random person becomes the Jinchuriki of 9 tails, the result is that 9 tails Jinchuriki will die within 2 years. Otherwise, why does Konoha need to let people from the Uzumaki clan become 9 tails Jinchuriki? Even if 9 tails will not harm Jinchuriki, the huge amount of chakra of 9 tails alone is not something ordinary people can bear. Becoming a 9 tails Jinchuriki is equivalent to starting the countdown of life. Unless there is a strong system, it is equivalent to taking chronic poison and waiting for death quietly. You guys have a good look here. Watching ninja fights is also very helpful to you. Said Sasuke turned and walked towards the lake. Chakra under his feet automatically emerged and stood on the water. Just like flat land, this phenomenon alone. It can be seen that Sasuke's control over chakra has even reached the point of being meticulous. The 3 of them didn't dare to breathe. Face the 4 Mizukages, ancestors of Mist Shinobi. Sasuke didn't show any fear by himself. It looked almost insane. Second Mizukage looked at Sasuke approaching, and smiled disdainfully. Raise your hand and instantly release a water-style ninjutsu. At the same time, 3rd generation and 4th Mizukage also shot. They use the same water-style jutsu, water-style, water dragon bomb technique. The water surging from the surface of the lake instantly formed a huge water dragon. The water dragon bomb technique used by the 3 at the same time, chakra unexpectedly came together to form a ninjutsu. A lifelike water dragon is instantly formed. I have never seen a water dragon bomb like this before. The moment the water dragon is formed, the coercion it emits is very amazing. Boruto and the others could clearly feel the sense of terror and oppression from the fusion of the 3 strands of chakra. In the next second, the ferocious water dragon roared, opened its huge mouth, and crazily bit towards Sasuke. However, facing the attack, Sasuke did not use ninjutsu to fight back. Instead, he raised his hand and pointed his fingers forward. There was a hint of mischief in Sasuke's eyes. 2nd generation. Last time, it seems that I didn't convince you, or you don't have the memory of that time. Well, let me once again let you feel my power carefully. Hearing Sasuke's words, 2nd Mizukage froze for a moment. Turning to look at 5th Mizukage, have I ever lost to this guy? Why don't I remember that I met him? Terumi Mei smiled helplessly. In the 4th Ninja World War, you who were defeated by Impure World Reincarnation were indeed defeated by Sasuke. Impure World Reincarnation. 2nd Mizukage froze for a moment. He did remember this technique. It is a technique developed by 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama. It's just that I didn't expect to use it on my head one day. Moreover, he also summoned himself as the deceased to fight the little ghost in front of him. Lost yourself. Snort. That's just the dead me. The present me is completely different from the living me. Boy. Do you think you can defeat me again? Next second, poof. Suddenly Sasuke's hand touched the water dragon bomb that was sweeping towards him. The water dragon bomb dissipated suddenly. It directly turned into rainwater all over the sky. The water dragon bomb, which seemed so powerful just now, was blocked so easily. It's like pouring a bucket of water on it. The power is so small. And Sasuke slowly loosened his 5 fingers, and the scene just now looked like Sasuke squeezed and exploded the water dragon bomb. Pupil technique, God spirit. In the face of this technique, any ninjutsu attack, in Sasuke's view, is like a bubble that will shatter when touched. Sasuke smiled, looking at the 3 people in a daze. I have felt the power of your technique, so please come and try mine too. Saying this, Sasuke raised his hand to make a mudra. The next second, the storm swept across, and the whole lake seemed to boil suddenly. The 4 people present are all Mizukage. They know very well how much chakra is needed to mobilize so much water with chakra. This kid in front of me actually has such a terrifying attainment in water style? Terumi Mei sighed. It still is scary as ever. However, the next second, the water in the lake was calm, as if nothing had happened. The 3 breathed a sigh of relief. Failed? Unexpectedly, Uchiha Sasuke failed to release ninjutsu? This is the most low-level mistake. Even the weakest genin would never make such a mistake. 4th generation couldn't help laughing. Is this a nearly invincible existence? A person who can't even release ninjutsu. Are you embarrassed to say that it is almost invincible? Third generation also smiled. However, fifth Mizukage Terumi didn't speak, just looked in Sasuke's direction quietly. To say that anyone in this ninja world can fail to release ninjutsu, only Uchiha Sasuke can't. How could it be possible for Uchiha Sasuke, the five-element escapist of the Grandmaster, to fail to release ninjutsu? This is absolutely impossible. Sudden. A huge black shadow appeared in the sky. The clouds and mist were broken, and the mist covering the island was instantly blown away by the storm. And that day the sky showed its true face. What appeared in front of him was a huge water dragon that covered the sun with clouds. A huge water dragon that soars out of the sea and directly rushes up to the clouds. Surprisingly entrenched in the sky above the island, in terms of body shape alone, it has completely surpassed the entire island. A water style. A water dragon bomb bigger than an island can be condensed. What ninjutsu is this? Is this still water style water dragon bomb? Boruto and the others were completely dumbfounded. I have never seen anyone who uses ninjutsu like this. A mere A-level ninjutsu actually used the feeling of forbidden technique. Sasuke slowly raised his hands. The water dragon in the sky is also ready to attack. Don't die. It would be ridiculous if Tangtang Mizukage died underwater style. Sasuke smiled. The water long Tien fell, and instantly crushed straight down with astonishing wind pressure. At this moment, the four Mizukages' eyelids twitched wildly. Just now Sasuke mobilized not the water flow of this lake, but the water flow from the sea. This guy seems to be even more Grandmaster water style than the Mizukage. How is this possible? When the current is enough to submerge the entire island, it sweeps down. Accompanied by the impact of the water dragon bomb, the roar exploded instantly. For a moment, Boruto and the three of them could only see a series of water flowing in front of them. In an instant, the waves of water rushed towards them. At this moment, the three of them panicked. Under the impact of this terrifying water flow, they couldn't stand it. However, when the current was still 10 meters away from them, suddenly, there was a purple long stick, which fell from the sky and pierced directly into the rocks on the shore. Just such a purple long stick, as if it directly divided the water flow. Let the water roll towards the sides, and it actually completely opened up the three of them. At this moment, the three of them were a little surprised, carefully staring at the thing emitting purple light. This thing actually has such a great power, it can directly split such a powerful water flow. The sound of roaring water swept across the entire island, and countless trees and rocks were all crushed like the bottom of the sea. If you look at it from a distance, under the bombardment of the water dragon bomb, the island seems to be floating from the bottom of the sea. The water flow lasted for more than a minute. It was barely dissipated, and when the water dissipated, the entire islands became bare. The lake in front of him seemed to be drained dry, and even turned into a huge pothole. The 9 tails in the middle of the lake, as well as the ninjas performing the sealing technique around the 9 tails, have long since disappeared. I don't know where it was hit by the current. But 9 tails was not washed away by the current, because the 4 Mizukages seemed to try their best to stabilize 9 tails' cage. So much so that even Kirigakure's ninjas failed to rescue them, instead they stabilized 9 tails immediately. The 4 Mizukages were all wet, and they were panting for breath at the moment. Obviously, the impact of the water dragon bomb just now put a lot of pressure on the 4 of them. At this time, Sasuke slowly fell from the sky, looking at the 4 people in front of him. Not dead yet. Not bad, as expected of the Mizukages. Sasuke's words seemed to be a compliment, but the faces of the 4 were quite ugly. If the powerful water-style ninjutsu just broke out in the village, I am afraid that half of Kirigakure will be submerged by now. Looking around, the island was originally densely wooded, but now it has become a bare piece. The power of Sasuke's water style is so terrifying. Second Mizukage doesn't dare to underestimate Sasuke now. Now look at 5th Mizukage, you said that this kid is almost invincible in the current ninja world. I believe this sentence now. Not only 2nd Mizukage, but also 3rd generation and 4th generation seem to understand what Terumi's evaluation means. Casually releasing this terrifying water-style guy, not to mention this guy is also a Grandmaster 5 Dan Ninjutsu, which means, Uchiha Sasuke. Every kind of escape technique can erupt the previous terrifying power. So Uchiha Sasuke is a monster of a monster. Let's fight together, even if it is a nearly invincible existence, you must not give up 9 tails to him. Although it seems to have understood how terrifying Sasuke's strength is. But this is 9 tails. It is the opportunity for the rise of Kirigakure, and it is absolutely impossible to simply hand it over. This is the lifelong wish of second generation and others. It was not realized in the past, but now Kirigakure finally has the opportunity, so he has to give it a try anyway. Feel the consciousness of several people. Sasuke was a little surprised. The Kusanagi sword that was about to be drawn was also put away. I see, for the sake of the village's rise, I have received your enlightenment. Sasuke smiled. Since this is the case, I will only use cage level strength to deal with you. 9 tails. You can't get it. Only use cage level. What is cage level only? Boruto and the three of them felt a little confused about Sasuke's word. Does this mean that Sasuke's strength is not just cage level? It seems to be right. The water-style ninjutsu just now cannot be released by common cage level ninjas. Second generation frowned. Only using cage level, does this mean to let them go? If it is Sasuke with full firepower, then they are of course afraid, but if they are only at the same level as them, then 4 against 1, will they still be counter-killed? Raise your hand. Sasuke casually made a black stick as a weapon. Spinning the flower stick, he raised his hand and hooked Go-Min at the 4 of them. Bring it on. Second Mizukage frowned, and shot out in the next second. Uchiha boy, your strength is very strong, but if you suppress it to the same level as ours, you will not win. High speed. After all, this is a cage-level ninja. And it's second Mizukage. It is well known that the ninja world is more powerful as it goes forward. Although Mizukage is not a taijutsu ninja, his taijutsu is not weak either. At the same time, third Mizukage, who used to be his bodyguard, followed closely behind. Third Mizukage is well aware of second generation's fighting style, and when the two cooperate, their fighting power is even more powerful. Sasuke smiled. He raised his hand and greeted the two of them with a shuriken. Dozens of shurikens were shot out in an instant, and Sasuke's throwing action made second generation stunned for a moment. What a fine throw. Ding ding. The two shurikens collided with each other in the air, changed their trajectories instantly, and shot towards second Mizukage. Mizukage spun around to avoid the shuriken. However, at this moment third Mizukage felt something was wrong. JV. When the third shuriken appeared and directly hit the shuriken that had been dodged, and the trajectory changed again, shooting directly towards second generation's back. Ding. In the next second, kunai from behind knocked Sasuke's shuriken away. After avoiding a large wave of shuriken attacks, second Mizukage and third Mizukage landed. Looking back at Terumi Mei, thank you. If it wasn't for Terumi Mei's attack just now, although a small shuriken is not enough to win the name of second Mizukage, but it was able to hurt second Mizukage, which was just the case. To be injured before even touching the enemy is not a question of whether the injury is serious or not, but a question of morale falling to the bottom in an instant. Second generation looked up at Sasuke. Suppressed to cage level strength, can you still have such an amazing shot? He could indeed see clearly the actions just now, and the power of the shuriken, although very strong, was indeed within the range that could be blocked. Compared with the strength shown by Sasuke before, the difference is too far. It shows that Sasuke did suppress his own strength, but even so, he was able to almost hurt himself, this Mizukage, with a small shuriken in the first encounter. Looking at the entire ninja world, I am afraid that no second person can do such a thing. Even the former first Hokage Senju Hashirama could never do this. The black stick rotates in the air, tearing the air apart, and the resulting blessing wind rolls up. Sasuke took the initiative. Turning the black stick with both hands, like the propeller of a helicopter, a jump came from the front. Directly swung the black stick and slammed it heavily towards second generation. What are you in a daze for? The battle is still going on. Beep. In an instant Sasuke's black stick smashed to the ground, looking like a slender weapon. The power was astonishing, the ground was directly cracked with one blow, and a long crack was created, spreading straight forward. Second Mizukage got up from the ground. Fortunately he reacted very quickly at that moment just now. That's how he narrowly avoided the blow. He raised his head and looked at the crack that stretched more than 10 meters long in front of him. Second Mizukage swallowed silently, and suddenly a breeze blew across his face. Sasuke appeared directly beside him. This is not some kind of flying thunder god technique, and there is no need to use flying thunder god technique to deal with these shrimp soldiers and crab generals. Sasuke simply used the body flicker technique. In an instant, he used the body flicker technique to come to second Mizukage's side, and smash the black stick in his hand directly towards his face. But in the next second, he also used the instant third generation to block Sasuke's attack. Jammed Sasuke's black stick with kunai. Sasuke frowned and looked at third Mizukage. This Mizukage seemed very mysterious, and he didn't give any explanation in the original book. However, he used to be the guard of second Mizukage, and his strength is still very good. He looks like a gentle and elegant man, but he seems to have strong physical skills. Nice gymnastics. The other party's expression was dignified, facing Sasuke's words. He didn't answer or pick up the words. Instead, he took out another kunai with his backhand and stabbed straight at Sasuke's chest. Sasuke gently dragged the other end of the black stick, and stuck the kunai with ease. Third Mizukage didn't expect Sasuke to defuse his attack with such a simple movement. On the other hand, Sasuke still has a free hand that can be used to attack, so the next dangerous person is he. Water style, hard vortex water blade. In the next second, the water flow gathered and rolled up instantly. In an instant, a water javelin was directly formed in Sasuke's hand. Sasuke smiled at third Mizukage. Bang bang. Raising his hand, he slammed the hard vortex water blade directly and fiercely on third Mizukage's abdomen. Third Mizukage was instantly sent flying, and his body faced the sudden burst of water in the air. In an instant, it directly turned into a huge water tornado, sweeping towards the other side of the island. Watching Uzumaki, the water flow that bursts into a terrifying roar like a strong wind, continues to sweep through the air. What is that water-style ninjutsu, Boruto? The three of them looked dumbfounded now. However, third Mizukage was blown away. Second Mizukage also reacted immediately. Raised his hand to Sasuke. Water style, water iron cannon technique. Boom. Just like the sound of a gun being fired, a drop of water flew out directly. Don't underestimate such a small drop of water. Its power is no less than that of pistol bullets. With such a sudden attack at such a close range, Sasuke had no time to dodge it even if he cast blink. But Sasuke, who owns Sharingan, has already seen through second Mizukage's movements and made evasive movements in advance. In the eyes of others, Sasuke almost avoided the blow just fine. Even turned the black stick and stabbed directly at second Mizukage. Hardly pressed against the opponent's collarbone, a dull impact sounded, and second Mizukage backed away. At this moment, fourth Mizukage swung a strange weapon with a hook, and attacked Sasuke fiercely. It's a show that restrains Sasuke. On the other side, Terumi Mei also sighed silently. She must also join the battle. Otherwise, it is not a calendar to sit back and watch the three of them lose if this continues. Thinking of this, Terumi Mei also jumped up. The printing speed is extremely fast. Fourth generation got out of the way. The fourth generation, who was fighting against Sasuke, was also under tremendous pressure. After all, he and Sasuke really felt the terrifying physical strength of Sasuke. After a few tricks, he couldn't hold on anymore. And at this time, fifth Mizukage's voice came just in time. Quickly turned over and dodged away. Lava style, monster dissolving technique. Suddenly Red's lava swept in, and Sasuke looked up and was enveloped almost instantly. The three of Boruto who saw this scene suddenly felt a drop in their hearts. This is the blood succession limit. It seems that the power of this technique may not be small. In the case of being surrounded, I am afraid that Sasuke can only escape if he bursts out with real strength. However, the next second there was a roar. Earth style, earth wall. The earth wall that rose instantly broke out from the lava. Immediately afterwards, there was a passionate sound of running water, and the water swept across. Water style, water barrier. The two forces erupted at the same time, and Terumi Mei's attack was easily blocked. And the water curtain formed by the water flow accompanying the impact. Bang bang. One left and one right, two figures rushed out directly. They strangled Terumi Mei in the air respectively. Seeing the sudden appearance of two Sasukes, Terumi Mei panicked. Suddenly she noticed that the Sasuke on the left had a black stick in his hand, but the Sasuke on the right did not. Boruto and the three of them also noticed this detail. It is obvious that Sasuke on the left is the real person, while the one on the right should be just a clone. But in the next second, Terumi Mei suddenly turned her head to Sasuke on the right. Boil style, Chaowu technique. Terumi Mei spews a large amount of extremely corrosive smoke from the mouth in the air. And at this moment, Sasuke smiled, raised his hand, and a wind style burst out, blowing directly towards the engulfing thick fog. While dissolving this ninjutsu, the avatar was already approaching Terumi Mei holding the black stick. A stick fell down, but Terumi Mei dodged easily. The one on the right is the real body. Boruto and the others were surprised, and deliberately threw the weapon to the clone, making others think that the clone is real. Did you think of such a battle plan at the moment when your vision was blocked? However, it is a pity that it was seen through by the other party. As expected of Mizukage, suddenly the sound of thunder and lightning sounded like 10,000 birds contending. For a split second, Sasuke held Black's Chidori in his hand and pointed straight towards Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei avoids the clone's attack while watching the movement of Sasuke's real body. Second Mizukage appeared directly and grabbed Sasuke's clone. Don't forget we're still there. Raise your hand to the avatar's head. Water style. Water iron cannon technique. Seeing this scene, Terumi Mei rushed to something bad, don't. Boom. One-shot clone was killed. However, the moment the avatar exploded, thunder and lightning erupted suddenly. Simultaneously paralyzes second generation and fifth generation directly. Fourth Mizukage's eyelids twitched. Is it lightning-style shadow clone? Damn it. The weapon is just a cover. Lightning-style shadow clone has no attack power at all, except for the self-detonation that can paralyze the enemy with lightning. It does not have any threat at all. As long as any ninjutsu can be eliminated. Seeing the second generation and fifth generation rushing straight towards them, they were unable to move at all, unable to fight back or escape. The fourth generation hastened to speed up and rushed towards Sasuke's back. Don't try to succeed. Fourth Mizukage, who jumped up, waved the weapon in his hand and slammed Sasuke's back hard. However, in the next second, Sasuke suddenly stopped, turning his head and looking back at the fourth generation in the air. In the air. But you can't dodge the attack. Chidori. Sharp gun. Black's laser pierces through fourth Mizukage's body in an instant. And agreed times Sasuke behind second generation and fifth Mizukage, the second before the body can move. Sasuke turned his head and volleyed slightly with his fingers. Lightning style. Discharge. The lightning flashed from the fingertips directly and accurately hit the two of them. Black thunder shines. Sasuke wins 1-on-4. And the prerequisite for a 1-4 victory is that Sasuke only used cage-level strength. You should know that Sasuke didn't use such ninjutsu as Breath of Thunder and Lightning style. Not to mention that there are things like black sticks, pupil techniques, and Sasuke didn't use them at all. If these abilities were used, these guys would have been defeated long ago. Sasuke looked at the three who fell to the ground, and third Mizukage, who was instantly killed by a hard vortex water blade. Third Mizukage is now completely unable to climb up. And the remaining second generation, fourth generation, and fifth generation are similar. Judging from their appearance, they are basically just in a state where they cannot fight. Sasuke clapped his hands lightly. It's already pretty good. In front of me, you lasted for about 3 minutes. Appreciate the three people lying on the ground. However, the three of them sounded very angry with such words. The opponent is still suppressing their strength, and they are all Mizukage level ninjas, and there are still 4 of them. It only lasted for 3 minutes. It was defeated in less than 4 minutes. This is not at all. Not something to be proud of. At this moment, Boruto and the others looked at Sasuke, who had solved the 3 Mizukages in an instant. Whether it's Mitsuki or Uchiha Sarada, they seem to understand what a real ninja is. Sasuke didn't use some powerful ninjutsu. Nor is it directly crushing by relying on strong strength. Instead, use tactics. Perfect tactics plus their own coordination and guidance made these people easily defeated. Perhaps the initial attack was not chosen randomly. Sasuke told the 4 Mizukages one thing by using powerful physical skills and amazing teleportation. That is, it would be very unwise to fight him in close quarters. So, in this case, only long-distance combat is possible. Do a good job of maintaining medium and long-distance battles, and because of this, second Mizukage didn't even have time to perform the housekeeping ninjutsu, and the battle was over. Keep fighting at medium and long distances, then the melee threat of clones will disappear. Sasuke's powerful physical skills will only consume second Mizukage's energy in vain. In this case, second Mizukage naturally would not choose to use this technique. However, it was such a decision that the 4 were defeated, because the rest of the battle was basically completely in Sasuke's hands. Whether it is to use Earth style and Water style to jointly block the blood successor limit attack from 5th Mizukage, it is to avoid the sight of the 3. After avoiding sight, Sasuke's battle has reached the final step. First, he used the lightning-style shadow clone to paralyze the 2 of them instantly, and then used them as bait to directly solve 4th Mizukage, who was eager to save people. They changed hands and dealt with the 2 again. So far the 4 Mizukages have all lost their fighting power. During the whole process, Commander didn't even use any powerful attacks. It's really fighting 4 people with cage-level strength. Whether it is speed or strength, the 4 of them can keep up. Otherwise, with Sasuke's speed and strength, even if it was just a casual blow, few people would be able to catch it. So strong. Zorana sighed. Such a battle, although not so wonderful. But when it comes to controlling the battle, it is jaw-dropping. This kind of battle is really a ninja's battle. Boruto also seemed to be belatedly aware of it. Thinking of their previous battles, there were no tactics at all. It's nothing more than a simple competition of ninjutsu, speed, and strength. Compared with Sasuke's fight just now, missing something really important, a ninja doesn't just use any attack blindly. Every step is planned and premeditated, leading the enemy into his own trap step by step. With the same strength, it can complete the absolute suppression of the division level. This is ninja. Watching Sasuke, who is slowly walking towards Nine Tails. The faces of the Mizukages at this moment are extremely ugly. By a kid, so easy, they bear the name of Mizukage. However, in front of Sasuke, he is as ignorant as Genin. But there is no way. Sasuke Grandmaster 5 escaped ninjutsu, although he only used earth style, water style, lightning style, wind style just now. There are 4 types of ninjutsu, but for ordinary cages, there are very few cages who can master so many kinds of ninjutsu at the same time. The more ninjutsu you master, the more diverse the fighting changes will be. Hateful. Second Mizukage seemed very unconvinced, he didn't expect to be defeated like this. Thinking of this, second Mizukage's eyes on Sasuke became more and more serious. At this moment, Sasuke walked towards Nine Tails, looking at Nine Tails in the cage. Third Mizukage, who was mainly in charge of sealing, roared crazily in his heart. Asshole. Even so, I won't obediently give you Nine Tails. As he said that, third Mizukage exerted his last bit of strength and directly untied the key seal of Nine Tails. Boom. Suddenly Nine Tails' terrifying chakra waves erupted, directly forming a series of red ripples spread out. Sasuke stopped and stared in the direction of third Mizukage. He shook his head lightly. This guy is really careless. Does he think he can't catch Nine Tails? Third Mizukage also looked at Sasuke. Although he couldn't see Sasuke clearly, third Mizukage laughed wildly in his heart. HMPH. Don't even think about getting Nine Tails so easily. If you want to get Nine Tails, grab them yourself. It is true that Sasuke is very strong, but third Mizukage doesn't think that Sasuke can easily catch Nine Tails, at least it will take a lot of effort. And now Sasuke is carrying 3 drag oil bottles, third Mizukage doesn't think Sasuke can catch Nine Tails with 3 genin. Boom. Nine Tails' chakra erupted even more violently. Nine Tails, who opened his eyes and directly tore the cage apart, raised his head to the sky and screamed frantically. That horrible chakra was liberated. Sasuke froze for a moment. It's not the same as the Nine Tails chakra wave I felt from Naruto in the first place. Is this Nine Tails in full condition? The Nine Tails sealed into Naruto's body is only half of Nine Tails, even half of Nine Tails is already terrifying. However, the Nine Tails in a complete state are obviously even more astonishing. This power is really different, no wonder the 4th Hokage died in order to seal the Nine Tails. With the strength of 4th Hokage, it is not a big problem to defeat Nine Tails, recalling that they want to suppress Nine Tails with such a huge amount of chakra. But it is not that simple. Sasuke, however, smiled. The 4 Mizukages looked at the Nine Tails who had regained their freedom, and the smiles on their faces were obviously more. Second generation. HMPH. Even if you defeat us, don't think about taking Nine Tails away so easily. 4th Mizukage. It took us a lot of work to trap this guy, now if you want, do it yourself. When Sasuke heard what the two said, he suddenly looked back at them. Is it hard to trap this thing? Said Sasuke raised his hand. The huge black stick that appeared out of nowhere instantly nailed the Nine Tails of Nine Tails. Immediately afterwards, Sasuke opened the Sharingan and the pupil power exploded. Nine Tails, who was still noisy just now, fell silent instantly. Capture complete. Sasuke looked back at several people. Isn't this solved? The expressions on the faces of the 4 of them at this moment are very exciting. Because they never imagined that Sasuke would be so simple, so easy to catch Nine Tails. And why is that black column suddenly appearing? It was as if he had appeared out of thin air and was summoned directly. There was simply no sign of it. In this case, the 4 Mizukages looked at Sasuke with shock. Not only has Nine Tails been easily suppressed, but even Nine Tails has become very quiet now. It's almost like there is no soul. You must know that even the sealing technique will not be able to quiet Nine Tails so quickly. When they sealed Nine Tails before, they made this monster yell and yell for a whole day before it was completely quieted down, but now. Sasuke just gave a look, and Nine Tails lost his voice in an instant. This gave the impression that Nine Tails was frightened by Sasuke's look. This made Sasuke himself a little speechless. I don't understand what's going on with this guy at all. Why suddenly it was like changing from a tiger to a kitten, it was so docile. The eyes of Nine Tails, how could? Fourth Mizukage looked at Nine Tails, whose eyes had turned into Sharingan. Surprised, he looked at Sasuke. Did this guy control Nine Tails with a Sharingan? How can it be? It seems that you don't know yet. Sasuke smiled. The Sharingan of the Uchiha clan has a natural suppression effect on tailed beasts. As for why the Sharingan beats the tailed beast, the approximate reason is that the Sharingan was degenerated or upgraded from the Rinnegan. It has a great impact on the spirit, and the tailed beasts have too little resistance to spiritual attacks. A common illusion is to use one's own chakra to influence the enemy's chakra. However, Uchiha's visual illusion also comes with a pupil power attack, so in this case the tail beast has no power to resist at all. Looking at the few people with their mouths open, they were very surprised. Sasuke smiled, then looked at several people. I'll take Nine Tails. Saying that, Sasuke waved his hand casually, and Nine Tails disappeared in front of the eyes of several people in the next second. Several people looked at Sasuke's terrifying ability again, and he was able to make Nine Tails disappear easily. If Sasuke uses this ability against them, I'm afraid the battle just now is unnecessary at all. They were powerless to resist. This is a nearly invincible existence. Now second Mizukage smiled helplessly. Looking at Sasuke in front of him, he finally felt the terror of the strong in this era. Originally, second Mizukage felt that the current ninja was simply too weak. In this era, it seems that there are no strong people at all, but now he feels something different in a trance. In this era, there are still strong people, and they are still outrageously strong. Sasuke clapped his hands, ready to greet Boruto and the three of them to leave. But before leaving, Sasuke came to Terumi Mei. Correct. Bye. How is it lately? Sasuke is a little worried. Recently, chaos has begun, and ninjas from various time points have appeared in this era one after another. Presumably, Bai must be devastated too, however, when it comes to White. Terumi Mei's expression began to change subtly. Doesn't seem to want to meet Sasuke's eyes. Sasuke obviously felt something was wrong. He glanced at Terumi Mei, even though Terumi Mei didn't say anything. But Sasuke also seemed to have thought of something. What's up with her? Terumi Mei moved her lips. Second Mizukage, third Mizukage, fourth Mizukage all have bad faces. Because it seems that Sasuke knows Kirigakure's sixth Mizukage, and even has an unusual relationship. Otherwise, Sasuke wouldn't ask the question just now. Bai is a female ninja, and although Sasuke looks young. But as men, it seems that the relationship between the two is mostly a relationship of admiration or something. This ninja named Uchiha Sasuke should be Shiro's suitor. And the three of them fought against each other before, and even if Sasuke knew, I'm afraid. Say it. Suddenly Sasuke raised his hand and grabbed Terumi Mei's neck, then lifted her from the ground. Terumi Mei suddenly felt unable to breathe, and could only stare at Sasuke with wide-eyed horror. At this moment, I can feel the strong killing intent emanating from Sasuke. The killing intent is very strong like the essence. Black smoke spread out, covering everything within 10 meters around. This moment. Red's eyes, black smoke. Sasuke looked almost as terrifying as a demon. Even Susanoo slowly emerged behind Sasuke, and the purple Susanoo was more like a demon god, staring at Terumi Mei in front of her. In vain. Injured. Hearing this, Sasuke's eyes burst out with scarlet blood. He looked at Terumi Mei in front of him. Who did it? Terumi Mei did not continue to answer the question. However, the answer is already obvious. Gently let go of Terumi Mei and let her fall to the ground. Then Sasuke looked back at several people. What did you do? Mizukage, the three ancestors of Kirigakure, can feel the terrifying murderous aura emanating from Zuosuke at this moment. With such a strong murderous intent, Sasuke might want to kill someone. Thinking of this, several people could not help but shudder. They looked at the murderous Sasuke. That's right. I did it. Second Mizukage was the first to stand up, and since he did, he was not afraid to admit it, even though Sasuke did look scary. Once you accidentally say the wrong thing, maybe you will really die. Standing up, second Mizukage looked at Sasuke. If you want to do it, come to me, boy. Hearing this, Sasuke narrowed his eyes. In the next second, the pupil power exploded directly. No hands. There are no chakra fluctuations. It was just a look, and the next second, second Mizukage was directly rushed out. It swept a distance of more than 10 meters in an instant, and fell heavily on the ground. Sasuke looked at second Mizukage in front of him. Although his expression was painful, his eyes remained unwavering. There is no fear at all, it is Mizukage after all, so what if it is death? Sasuke smiled coldly. Very good, you just came to this era from other eras. White, as the Mizukage of this era, you actually wounded her, and as the ninja of Mist Shinobi, these guys actually obeyed your orders. Damn it. Damn it. Sasuke turned around and killed second Mizukage, but it was impossible. First of all, we need to see how Bai's injury is. Furthermore, although they are the chief culprits, the people who are in the same boat are the Mist Ninja who should have obeyed Shiro. These guys have betrayed Bai. It's okay to be defeated if you are not strong enough, since even these heavy ninjas betrayed Japan. If they stood firmly behind Bai, then even if the three Mizukages shot at the same time, Bai would not be afraid at all. Where are you going? Suddenly Terumi Mei watched Sasuke leave. Sasuke glanced back at her. I hope you didn't hurt Bai too badly. After saying that, Sasuke directly took Boruto and the others, and teleported them away instantly with the power of the sky. Outside Kirigakure, the three of Boruto followed Sasuke into Kirigakure swaggeringly. At this moment, Kirigakure went up and down, although there was no reaction at the first moment. But Mizuki is still a little worried. Mr. Sasuke, we are the ninjas of Konoha. If we enter Kirigakure at this time, and enter like this, I'm afraid we will be noticed. Sasuke looked back at Mitsuki. So, do you want to do some camouflage or something, so that you can reduce some unnecessary troubles? Hearing this, Sasuke shook his head. No need. The sonorous and forceful three words made Miyue feel exactly how intense Uchiha Sasuke's anger is at the moment. At the same time, I also understand the current Sasuke. Strangers should not enter. If anyone dared to trouble him at this time, he might lose his life. To make Sasuke have such a huge reaction, Mizuki is very curious. What kind of relationship between Sasuke and Mist Shinobi's sixth Mizukage, Ms. Bai, is the master seeks the master? Zarana and Boruto also felt something was wrong. But seeing Sasuke's attitude, they are afraid to speak now. Sasuke walked straight in a certain direction. Go through the busiest street in Kirigakure. In this case, how is it possible not to be discovered by the ninjas of Mist Shinobi? The ninjas of Mist Shinobi have long discovered this team of ninjas from Konoha, a young man with three little ghosts. Such a configuration did not make Mist Shinobi too nervous. Maybe it's someone out on a mission, the ninja squad. So Mist Shinobi didn't react immediately. But when Sasuke and others headed towards the area that was explicitly prohibited by 5th Mizukage from entering, Mist Shinobi's dark forbearance cannot continue to sit idly by. They appear directly ahead. Seeing the appearance of the two Mist Shinobi, Boruto and the others immediately cheered up. But they didn't have time to open their mouths to say anything in the next second. The whole person is completely frozen in place. As if being controlled by something. Sasuke ignored the two and moved on. Looking at the appearance of the two dark ninjas, it was obvious that they were instantly killed by Sasuke's illusion again. At this time, Uchiha Sarada couldn't help feeling a little emotional. This ability is so convenient. It can easily kill these ninjas in seconds without making any noise. Even Uchiha Sarada thought about it, and asked Sasuke to teach her illusion. However, it is very easy for Sarada to learn illusion, but it is very difficult to reach the level of Sasuke. You know, even Uchiha Itachi can't do this kind of thing with just illusion. Of course, if it is dealing with ordinary genin, then it should not be a big problem. But against Chunin level and above, for example, it is impossible to use illusion to instantly kill the dark nin of these villages. And Sasuke, not to mention Chunin, even an ordinary jonin, can easily use illusion to instantly kill him. Other dark ninjas who were watching secretly saw such a situation with their companions. I can't sit still anymore. Immediately rushed towards Sasuke's direction. But when they appeared, they immediately lost consciousness. Sasuke's forward speed didn't slow down at all. This time, 5 or 6 dark ninjas in a row had a special situation. The other Mist Shinobi ninjas will naturally stop rushing forward. This is clearly problematic. The 4 of them are weird. Immediately report to the higher level ninja, but then Mist Shinobi's ninja unit is dispatched. Those are 5 Mist Shinobi dark ninjas, who were directly controlled and locked in place by the enemy with inexplicable means. You should know that if the enemy is using the hold technique, then usually only the upper ninja can use it on the lower ninja. And it is used by ninjas with a much higher level. But even if it is a cage level ninja, it is impossible to directly fix the dark ninja. Otherwise, why choose a ninja of the Chunin level to become a dark ninja? Chunin already has a certain ability to resist. Even against cage-level ninjas, Chunin can struggle to a certain extent. Death may be unavoidable, but before death, information can be sent back to the village, or some important clues can be left behind. Before Sasuke reaches a blocked building, the two Kirin who guarded the door looked at the Konoha shinobi who suddenly appeared here. The expressions of the two were wonderful. How can that be possible? How could Konoha's ninja enter such a place? The two stepped forward directly to stop Sasuke and the others, and to capture Sasuke and others. However, when the companion blocked Sasuke and was about to speak, Sasuke took a direct look at this Kirin, and then said, "Take me in, I'm white." Hearing this, the other party was taken aback for a moment, then nodded directly. "Go back to the building." The companion on the side was dumbfounded. "Who is this guy? Do you know your partner? Why are you listening to this guy so much? Is it some big man?" However, just as he was about to ask, what appeared in his eyes in the next second was a pair of terrifying Sharingan. Moment. The guy lost consciousness directly, standing in place motionless, like a wooden man. And Boruto and the others behind, Sasuke said to his head lightly, "You. Wait for me here." After speaking, I went in directly. Leave Boruto and the three of them standing at the door of the building, waiting until Sasuke disappears. Sarana suddenly realized, Ms. Sasuke asked us to wait for him here. This is Kirigakure. There will be many mist shinobi coming soon. How do we? Speaking of this, Boruto and Mizuki also had very ugly faces. Wait. What are you waiting for? I'm afraid this place will soon be surrounded by mist shinobi. In this case, how could the three genin be able to stop them? Boruto. Could this be Sasuke-sensei's test? Even if it is a test, this test is too strong, it is not something we can pass. Miyue said. However, at this moment, a figure suddenly appeared. In front of the three of them, a guy with white hair and clothes similar to Sasuke appeared. The other party looked down at the three little ghosts. Master Sasuke, let you wait here, just wait patiently. As for Mist Shinobi, leave it to me. After speaking, the other party turned his head and looked in the direction of the building without moving. And this sudden appearance made the three of them stunned. Who are you? When Boruto saw the white eyes the other party had, he was stunned. This is the bloodline of the Hyuga family. Who is this guy? Why does he have white eyes, and he calls Sasuke a heavenly being? Obviously Sasuke's subordinate. Does the Hyuga clan follow Sasuke? However, Kimimaro who was questioned had no intention of answering. Zarana on the side looked at each other. Are you Sasuke-sensei's friend too? However, hearing Sarana's question, Kimimaro looked back at her. I follow Master Sasuke. At this time, Boruto was a little confused. This guy didn't answer his own question, but instead answered Zarana's question. What does that mean? Are you from the Hyuga clan? Boruto asked again, but Kimimaro still didn't speak but stood quietly. Uchiha Sarada also seemed to understand a little bit. This guy didn't seem to want to talk to Boruto. Are you from the Hyuga clan? I am Toru Yoruichi, Kagaya Kimimaro. The Wei Yoruichi clan seemed to have never heard of this name. There seems to be no Toru Yoruichi family among the families in each village. Boruto said, although he was as mischievous as Naruto, Boruto's homework was still very good. At least much stronger than the original Naruto. So I listened carefully to this lesson about the ninja family. Toru Yoruichi clan. It has never appeared before. If there is such a family in the ninja world, then it should be a small family. Not worth thinking about at all. However, Zarana frowned and looked at Kimimaro in front of her, even a member of the small family. But judging by Kimimaro's momentum, he is definitely not weak. Obviously a strong ninja. The family and a person's strength are not absolutely linked. The Wei Yoruichi clan. This clan used to be famous. Suddenly Mizuki spoke. Kimimaro glanced at Mizuki. As a kid of the new era, do you know the Toru Yoruichi clan? Miyue smiled. My family told me some. Looking at Mitsuki's appearance, plus what I have learned about Mitsuki from Master Orochimaru before. So Kimimaro smiled too. Is the Mitsuki Toru Yoruichi clan famous? Suddenly Boruto asked. December Miyue nodded. Why don't I know? If it is really a famous family, then Boruto thinks that he is definitely not unaware. At least not to say that he has never heard of the name. Thinking of this, when Boruto really planned to refute Mitsuki, he had already spoken directly. Because the Wei Yoruichi clan is not famous in our era, but in the last era. The Wei Yoruichi family used to be one of the most powerful blood successor limit families in Kirigakure. Same as the current 6th Mizukage lord, the Water Wu Yu clan that Lord Bai belongs to, has a very strange blood succession limit wish. Special Constitution blood succession limit, dead bone pulse. Mizuki looked at Kimimaro while talking. This seemed to ask Kimimaro if what he said was correct. And Kimimaro just smiled lightly. You know a lot. Boruto looked at Kimimaro. Teru Yoruichi, dead bone pulse. What is that? Thinking of this, Boruto is a little surprised that he has never heard of it. Just when Boruto wanted to ask what dead bone pulse is. At this time, Uchiha Sarada looked in the direction of the building. Then what is the relationship between Sasuke-sensei and 6th Mizukage-sama? They seemed very familiar. Hearing this question, Kimimaro looked like he was lost in memory. Recalling that time under Master Orochimaru, together with Sasuke, I was overwhelmed by Sasuke's pervert talent and terrifying perseverance step by step. That's right. Kimimaro replied. Once upon a time, 6th Mizukage, Shiro, was also one of Master Sasuke's followers. I thought Kimimaro would say that the two were once very good friends, but I didn't expect Kimimaro to use the word follower. This is the majestic 6th Mizukage-sama. A genuine Kage-level powerhouse with the Ice Escape Blood successor limit that countless ninjas dread. How could it have been a follower of Sasuke? Thinking of this, Boruto was just about to speak. Kimimaro ignored the surprised gazes of the three and continued talking. Bai and Sasuke-sama, we should know each other because of one failure. As Master Sasuke of Genin, it is the first time to perform an A-level mission, and the guide Jonin who leads the team should be Hitaki Kakashi. Sasuke, Naruto, and small Sakura, as the ninjas of the 7th class, under the leadership of Kakashi, perform A-level missions. And Sasuke-sama killed the mist shinobi elite Jonin who used Shiro as a tool at that time. So Shiro, for the purpose of assassinating Lord Sasuke, followed Sasuke. Having said that, Kimimaro smiled. At this moment, Boruto and the others are stunned. They just became Geninin. Just perform A-level missions? And now they understand why Naruto attaches so much importance to Sasuke. It turns out that they used to be companions of a team. No wonder Kakashi has such a high prestige in the village that one person brought out 2 monsters. No. To be precise, 3 monsters. Does such a person have high prestige? One has become the strongest Hokage in history, the other is a nearly invincible existence in the ninja world, and the last one is slightly inferior. But she also succeeded in inheriting the Tsunade ninjutsu, becoming a female ninja with superb medical skills, and her combat effectiveness is also very explosive. Then since it was an assassination, why did he become a follower in the end? This question is Zorana's doubts. Since Bai once wanted to assassinate Sasuke, why did he make a 180-degree change in the end? Of course it's because of Sasuke-sama's power. Bai's assassination did not succeed, but was easily handled by Master Sasuke again and again. Hearing this, Boruto was surprised. Did she really assassinate Sasuke-sensei? Certainly. It just didn't work out. After Shiro became Sasuke's follower, because he lamented his own strength, he couldn't provide any help for Master Sasuke. Prepare to return to Kirigakure to find a more powerful force. This process was discovered by 5th Mizukage, and Yu's power was cultivated. In return, Shiro chose to stay and help Kirigakure rise. Saying that, Kimimaro looked in the direction of the building. But it is a pity that today, he has been betrayed by Yuanyan village, which he has devoted himself to for decades. At this moment, in the building, Sasuke looked at Shiro lying on the hospital bed. Leaning against the window, looking at Shiro in the distance, staring at Kirigakure. Sasuke pushed the door open and entered. Bai suddenly turned around. Sasuke. Master. Seemed a little surprised, and a little surprised. Sasuke felt the breath of Bai, and found that the breath of Bai was not too weak. But the hateful thing is that there is a sealing technique on Bai's body, and Bai's chakra is completely sealed. He raised his hand to directly activate the God Spirit, and easily erased Bai's seal. Sasuke came to Bai's bedside. Healing ninjutsu was launched directly in his hand, helping Bai start a quick recovery. Meanwhile, Sasuke looked up at Shiro. Do you regret it? Hearing this, Bai was stunned for a moment, but soon understood what Sasuke was asking. This is probably asking yourself if you regret choosing to stay in Kirigakure in the first place. Bai smiled. It's not regrettable. This is also very good. I have exchanged the kindness of Lord 5th Mizukage back then. Hearing this, Sasuke smiled. Then come with me. Walk. Bai was stunned for a moment. If she really wanted to leave Kirigakure, she suddenly couldn't let it go. But in the current situation, Kirigakure has completely lost her 6th Mizukage. The ninjas of the village ignored her orders and followed the orders of the former Mizukage masters instead. This made Bai very cold. She is the contemporary Mizukage. At this moment, a large number of mist ninjas could be seen coming from the window. Bai was taken aback for a moment, a little worried about Sasuke. But Sasuke patted Shiro on the shoulder. Don't worry, Kimimaro is down there. Hearing the name Kimimaro made Bai even more helpless. Kimimaro was there, and that really worried her even more. After all, Kimimaro said at the time that Mist Shinobi has nothing to do with him, but if one day, he will return to Mist Shinobi for other reasons. So even if it is to justify the name of the Wei Yoruichi clan, he must let the people of Mist Shinobi understand. The crimes they committed in the first place are so serious.